Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two and sometimes three friends.
There's three of us-ish today.
Well, however many, we chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash our worst Minnesotan accents.
Oh, yeah. Or sometimes dive into the archives.
Dive into the archives because sometimes it's a holiday week. And we don't have time to make a full, fresh episode.
And sometimes it's a holiday week just off the coattails of a dramatic maternity leave.
Yeah.
We're fine. Everyone's thriving.
Upheavals left and right.
Indeed.
But this week we have a very special episode because it is an amalgamation, a collage, a pastiche.
A cornucopia.
Yes, of previous episodes that are related to different states. We have our Best of States episode this week, and I am really excited about it.
Oh, yes. So, while we don't have a traditional wine pairing for you this week, I want to encourage a couple of things. One, as always, treat yourself this holiday season to the Gals Wine. You can find our wine that we cultivate and create ourselves with the help of our amazing partners over at Blentique. And you can find it on our website on the wine tab of wineandcrimepodcast.com. I am holding in my hands the absolutely stun Gals Sauv Blanc, which is only available right now in the 3-pack. So
it's so fucking good.
It's so fucking good, and you better get your hands on that. And if you can't, for some reason, get your hands on it, I also encourage you to just sneak whatever wine you can from wherever you can this holiday, because the holidays are rough.
Yeah.
That's my wine pairing. Whatever the
liquid
fuck you
backup.
can get your hands on. Yeah. Remember sneaking to the garage for Jell-O shots last Poe family Christmas, Lucy?
Every Poe family Christmas.
Boom.
It's a tradition.
That's basic. That's my wine pairing. Like, that energy is my wine pairing. Sneaking to the garage. Yeah. The closet of your childhood bedroom. Whatever you can do to get through so much forced family time.
Whatever you need to do.
Yep. Love it. Well, Lucy, what are we going to be getting into, with this episode today?
Well, first up, that for almost every state episode, I have done a dramatic dissection of their state flag.
Oh, yeah. And how terrifying most of them are. Great. Love it.
Most of them aren't super great.
No.
Didn't age really well, but also, that's more fodder for us to make fun of them. So,
yeah,
let's kick it
America
off.
Didn't age well, so.
Oh, God. Nor anyone in America, except
or
for my mother.
Well. Yeah, no, your mom is.
My mother gets younger.
Great.
It's ridiculous.
She does. What's that about? Anyway,
hopefully I've inherited those genes, but let's kick it off. Talk some shit about some state flags.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Kentucky has another weird fucking flag. So this is from a Mental Floss article. Contrary to popular belief, Kentucky's state flag does not depict local heavyweights Daniel Boone and Henry Clay embracing. Okay. There's a photo of the flag on the drive, which will be on the blog. Rather, the two men are supposedly representative of any old statesman and frontiersman. So just like a generic statesman and a generic frontiersman.
Okay.
But super looks like Henry Clay and Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone is a big fucking deal in this state, let me tell you.
That's why they attribute that likeness to Daniel Boone.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what's not up for debate. It's not the world's most popular flag. When the North American Vexillological Association, I'm assuming that's like the flag people.
Mm-hmm. People who get easily vexed.
Yes. Vexled. Polled the public on the best state and province flags in North America in 2001. Kentucky's design finished 66th out of 72 entries.
I mean, it's two white guys in different dress shaking hands.
They're about to kiss.
And
Look
one
at that
has a really
luxurious-
small head compared to the other.
Tiny head, and then the other one, the frontiersman, has quite the mullet.
Yeah.
It's
The head size
Discrepancy.
is extreme.
It's like pathological.
And I don't like that coat either. It just comes to a point in the rear.
None of
it's
this
not
is
doing anything
good.
for his torso.
It isn't. It gives him some interesting thighs. And he also is wearing heels.
Yeah.
There's so
Got
much
a little
to
chunky
unpack
heel
here.
going on.
And was Daniel Boone like a Ken Barbie doll blonde?
This is John Smith from Disney's Pocahontas, the deeply
Absolutely.
problematic representation.
Yeah, he also appropriated the dress of the
Yeah.
indigenous local peoples.
Nothing
Which
is okay.
is true of Daniel Boone. He was
Sure.
kidnapped and lived amongst the Native Americans for a while and actually had a better time because he hated his wife. And then
Okay, I don't know shit about Daniel Boone,
Daniel
apparently.
Boone,
Hashtag
very
Boone facts.
fascinating.
Hashtag Boone facts.
Hashtag Boone facts, y'all. Don't sleep on Daniel Boone. There was a lot happening.
I'm pretty
Ooh.
tired. I might sleep on Daniel Boone.
We should do Daniel Boone crimes.
But I don't
Everything
know
about
if
his
he
life.
was bleach blonde as an adult man. I doubt it.
Never trust a blonde man.
Never.
So let's discuss the flag of New Jersey.
Ooh.
Yes, let's.
It's kind of an unexpected, buttery yellow with really nice
Yeah.
It's the
blues
Garden
and
State.
reds. There's a photo of it that'll be on the blog. So if you want
Still
to,
clip arty, but they all are.
they all are.
Yeah.
So on the spectrum of state flags, I actually think I like this one.
I don't
So-
know. The horse head is really making
get
There's
me
to
a
the
feel
horse
unwell.
head.
lot happening.
And I'm gonna
a
tell you all
staff
about
with a
it.
Santa hat on it. Okay,
I'm going to tell you all about it.
explain the hat.
So this is from the state's website. Quote, the New Jersey state flag was adopted in 1896. Its official color is buff, which is a yellowish tan color. The colors of the state flag, which are buff and dark blue / Jersey blue.
Buff and bashful.
Buff. Were the
That
colors
would be terrible together.
I know. It'd be so
Ugh.
bad.
were the colors
This is not
George
buff. It's just, this is the color you get when you mix your mustard and your mayo together.
This is when you
Yeah.
don't hydrate enough, and this is your pee.
Right.
ish.
Which mustard and mayo blended together is a really good combo, but maybe not for a state flag.
I
fucking
like
love
it.
Mustard.
I love mustard and mayo, and I kind of like this
Starving.
color.
Okay.
Okay, so the buff and the dark blue were the two colors that George Washington chose for the flag of New Jersey's army regiments during the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
So then, in addition to that, we've got two ladies. We got Liberty on the left, who represents, liberty. And then, I don't know how to say her name. Ceres? Charis? Saris? Sarah on the right.
Cersei.
Cersei on the
Cersei.
right. And she is
Cersei
the
Lannister.
Roman goddess of grain. And she is holding
Okay.
a cornucopia filled with fruits and vegetables to represent the bountiful crops that grow from New Jersey's sweet, sweet soil.
Jersey does have the best tomatoes.
Garden State. They have really,
in-season-
really fertile soil.
Yeah. In season Jersey tomatoes, holy shit, it is unlike anything, best caprese salad you'll ever have in your life.
Yum. I fucking love
Can
tomatoes.
confirm. And fresh Jersey peaches. I know that the Georgia peach is a whole thing, but it's fucking good. Their produce is real good.
All
Yeah,
right.
we got
It's legit.
that dirt to thank for.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have a decapitated horse head, which
Yeah,
apparently represents the state's independence.
And the
Oh.
mafia.
From the rest of its body?
There
Is
is
that the horse head's independence from the rest of its body?
There is a lot of mafia
Decapitated horse head.
situations
Oh my
in
God,
New
The
Jersey.
Godfather.
So yeah. It's
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
a disembodied horse head.
This on the day of Amanda's engagement. You're making me record.
I can't believe we are recording.
I can't
Honestly.
either, but we have. We're so
We
We
far
don't have
behind.
a choice.
We don't have a
We are
choice.
so
We are
behind.
up against a wall.
Otherwise, I would have
The
requested a
calendar has
reschedule.
our balls in a vice.
They clenched.
They're tight. And then those weird like slashes on the shield are supposed to be plows to represent the state's
Okay, I thought they were
agricultural
like
traditions.
shitty
Ice
speed
skates.
skates. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like
And then
weird
is the little
lightning
thing-
bolts.
Over the ugly skates and under the horse head, is that like a helmet?
Like a knight.
It's a
knight's
helmet.
helmet?
It's like a fighting
Okay.
helmet. And then what you were asking about the Santa hat. So
Yeah.
it's called a Liberty hat.
It's a Santa hat.
It looks like a Santa hat.
A pussy hat.
It's,
but red.
It's a pink pussy hat.
It is a red one-eared pussy hat. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go with the flag. You know I love the flags. Maine's flag features the North Star at the top with the word dirigo, which means I lead. So if you go to the drive, which will
Okay.
be on the blog, there is a photo of the flag. So if you look at it, we have a farmer and a seaman. And these are meant to represent their traditional reliance on agriculture and on the sea. The farmer has a horrific beard.
Why do state flags just have the worst
Give
clip
no
art?
fucks.
They just like gave up.
Well,
They
like,
give no fucks. State
why
flags
don't
give
you-
no fucks.
like hire an artist.
And the
Like put this together in the clip art that you have here and then show this to an artist and be like, make this but better.
Nah,
that
that's too
hard.
hard. That's
Look at
too
the-
hard.
Look at the seaman's face too. Well, first of all, his
Stop
eyes
saying
are
seaman.
horrible.
They're really
Ugh.
sad.
Really sad, dark eyes, and then like a beard only on one side of his face.
It's also like he looks like a jaunty sailor man and not like a longshoreman.
He looks like he's looking for a good time because he's got his
He's got
top.
a low cut top.
He's got his top buttons
They
unbuttoned.
both do actually.
Ooh,
His
yeah,
little-
he's loose.
His little sailor ties is kind of dangling.
He's ready to go.
But my favorite part of the flag is just a cute little moose sleeping under a pine tree in the middle.
Yep.
Oh, Bobby.
Little bubby. So I will say that the Merchant Marines flag, where'd my notes go? Sorry. What's it called? Yeah, Maine's Merchant and Marine flag, which appeared in 1939, is much better, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
in its simplicity. So that one says the dirigo at the top, and there's a pine tree and a anchor.
Yeah.
It really gets the same point across, people, and it looks a
Yep.
lot more cleaned up.
Yep. Looks a
classic.
lot better.
God.
I prefer
Yeah.
that one
The
personally.
state flag is just
She's a mess.
sad.
Okay, got to talk about the flag because it's weird. So the flag features a cute mother pelican and her 3 cute pelican children. And speaking of pelicans, the brown pelican is the state bird.
Okay.
And then when you take a closer look, you may notice fucking blood coming out of her chest.
Is the
Yeah.
flag on the
Described as a
drive?
sign of-
Oh.
Yes. Described as a sign of the state's willingness to sacrifice itself for its citizens.
Wow.
So the design goes back to medieval times when people believed that pelicans fed chicks with their blood. So this is
that's
supposed
not
to show the
accurate.
pelican tearing at her own breast to feed her children her blood. The blood is actually a
Cool.
remarkably big deal, at least to one narc 8th grader in 2010, and this is from Wikipedia. During the 19th century, it was traditional in Louisiana flags and the state seal for the pelican in her piety to have 3 drops of blood on her chest. In later years, the tradition on both the state flag and the seal have been haphazardly followed, maybe because it doesn't look that great.
It's a little creepy.
It's
Little creepy.
odd. The blood isn't lined up with the 3 pelican baby mouths either. So it's like one is getting all the blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not very fair.
It's clearly the
It's not-
favored child.
Yeah, it's the one that survives.
That's the New Orleans of the state. Baby
So-
New Orleans.
Baton Rouge is pissed.
Baton Rouge is the one all the way to the right.
Yeah.
Not a
Baton
drop.
Rouge Red Stick has enough blood.
Red stick.
Okay, so basically, as time went on, some of the seals and the flags didn't have the blood, which was noticed by an 8th grader at Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Homa, which brought this to the attention of his state legislator. In April 2006, the Louisiana state legislature passed a law which specifies 3 drops of blood to be depicted on the pelican in both the state's flag and the seal.
Just an 8th grader demanding blood.
Yes. Literally, yes.
I mean,
We all know.
Damien Faye.
We know that 8th grader.
Yeah.
Kyle
Yep.
Green.
I know. We all know.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
I think he does listen.
I think so.
I'm really excited about your bachelor party.
Oh, my God.
The flag has there's a lot happening. We're not going to get into all of it, but there are 2 black stallions.
Yes.
And then there's a banner that says virtue, liberty, and independence. But those words are all vastly different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 3 parts of this banner. And so liberty and have to be crammed in the middle.
Okay. I know I wasn't going to look at screens, but now I got to look this up.
I'm going to
Actually, it is kind of a weird flag, but I didn't cover it because actually my
she's a
segment
mess.
is pretty full.
Okay.
All right. That's all I had to say. I'm sorry.
She is
Very
kind of a mess.
medieval.
I do like this carousel stallions and the eagle on top.
Mm-hmm.
I just like
It's a
liberty
story with an
and
eagle on top.
Liberty and oh yeah, independence is really crammed in there.
Yep, I see
Yeah,
it.
they could have done a better. Who was their graphic designer?
right?
Also, their 3 bundles of wheat just look like champagne corks.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yes.
So New Mexico's state flag consists of a red sun symbol of the Zia people on a field of gold / yellow. And this was officially introduced in 1925. It was designed in 1920 to highlight the state's Native American Pueblo and Nuevo Mexico Hispano roots.
Okay.
The symbology is designed to represent the Puebloans and the colors of the flag of Spain. So it's kind of recognizing the colonizers from Spain came to Mexico. Okay, great. But then also the Puebloan people who inhabited that actual region. So
Surprisingly progressive for a state flag compared to many that we've seen.
right. And especially one designed in 1920.
Right.
Okay, so looking at the flag, this symbol has sacred meaning to the Zia Pueblo people. So if you look at it, there's lines of it pointing in all 4 directions, red lines. I think there's three lines in each direction, 4 lines, which makes sense. So the number 4 was very sacred, a very sacred number to these people. So 4 symbolizes the circle of life that includes the 4 directions, the 4 times of day, the 4 stages of life, and the 4 seasons. So
I like that.
lots of 4. 4 is also my lucky number, I'm just saying.
Ooh.
And then the circle around all of these 4 groups of lines sort of binds the 4 elements of 4 together.
It is a very pretty and simple design.
It's beautiful.
It's really pretty. So this artist's winning design is the flag that the state uses today. And they also use the salutation quote, "I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures." And this salutation is commonly recited in New Mexico public schools after the United States Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, it's good to have hope.
Well,
Okay.
time to hit the old dusty trail.
Can you tell where my mental health is at?
We're all thriving.
Sure can.
Well, it's good to dream.
God bless the USA.
How optimistic.
Yeah.
Good on
So,
them.
also to what you were saying, it's a very attractive flag. This flag is one of 4 U.S. state flags that does not contain the color blue.
I like
So
that.
those other 3 flags being Alabama, California, and Maryland. and it is also the only one of these 4 not to contain the color white.
They
So the-
almost escaped all of the USA colors.
Yeah.
Almost. You were so close. The flag of the District of Columbia also has no blue, but it is partially white, making the New Mexico flag the only U.S. flag with no blue or white. It is
Dang.
truly unique, and I would dare say maybe the most attractive.
Wow. Wasn't that a treat, everybody?
A trip down memory lane.
What an absolute treat to talk about those weird bungled flags.
Well, if you haven't gotten the impression yet, I sometimes struggle with the background and psych segment when a very special fan picker picks a very specific state. So,
Homunculus.
homunculus Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do want to honor said state,
Mm-hmm.
typically. So,
Yeah.
fun facts. I keep some fun facts in my back pocket.
I love the state fun facts.
There are so many weird fucking facts about so many states. They're
Yep.
just weird. They're fucking weird. So anyway,
They're really fucking weird.
we love our good listicle. We love our fun facts. So
Mhm.
let's dive into some of the top tier, the creme de la creme of fun facts.
These fun facts will blow your mind.
So this next fact is disputed, but I'm going to go with it.
Great.
So the song Happy Birthday to You was written by 2 sisters from Kentucky.
Like
around
happy
the early
birthday to
1900s.
you, happy birthday to
Yes,
you. Like
ma'am.
that song.
That the one
it's
and only.
called
Yep.
Happy Birthday to You and not just Happy Birthday. I'm
That's
deeply
technically
unsettled
called
by
Happy
that.
Birthday to You.
I hate that.
Around the early 1900s, Patty Hill was a kindergarten principal in Louisville, and her sister Mildred was the pianist and composer. The sisters used Good Morning to All, Good Morning to All as a song that young children would find easy to sing. And I will say that when I was younger, my mom used to sing that song to me to wake me up in the morning.
Really?
She'd say, well, a little different. She said, good morning to you. Good morning to you. You smell like a monkey and
Yeah,
you look like one too.
Yeah, my mom used to say that shit.
Yeah, so it's a thing.
Rude.
The combination of melody and lyrics in Happy Birthday to You first appeared in print in 1912. None of the early appearances of the Happy Birthday to You lyrics included credits or copyright notices, but this is the general theory, although disputed. Lots of things were invented in or first revealed in Kentucky, including bib lettuce,
Yum.
yum, enamel bathtubs,
Luck?
right?
Are those made
Amanda's
from
favorite.
teeth?
No.
No.
Doesn't teeth have enamel?
Teeth have enamel, but not all enamel is made from teeth.
Well, I don't know.
Clearly you
smart
don't
person.
know.
I don't know.
It's not made of teeth, but I'm tempted to just let you run with this theory. Just see where it takes you. Oh my God.
Okay.
But also, I
fine.
want a bathtub made out of teeth. Hello.
Judgmental mutt. I'm looking up what is enamel.
Great.
Okay, you.
Have fun.
What is Greg Hamill?
Who
Josh
is
Duhamel.
Greg.
Also, light bulbs, traffic lights, Post-its, and the radio. Kenyon is Googling, so
Yep, just
I'm
keep
gonna-
going.
Okay.
Let her fly.
Students at Lexington's Transylvania University enter a lottery for the chance to spend the night in the on-campus tomb of a 19th century botany professor.
Whoa.
Sign me the fuck up.
Yeah. Wow.
Jesus. That's so creepy and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Knox is in Kentucky, currently holding over $180 billion in gold bullion,
Whoa. Boolean cubes.
which is just like gold coins, gold
Mhm.
things.
Okay, others have asked.
Yeah.
Is the enamel on our bathtub the same stuff that's on my teeth?
I don't think I need to point out how many stupid people are on the internet.
I'm I'm reading.
We're
I'm
three
reading.
of them.
Okay, while you're reading, Mammoth Cave is the longest cave system in the world.
I wanna go
Kentucky
check
has
that
a
out.
lot of world records.
Yeah,
A lot of
who
big
knew?
caves. Very cool big caves.
Are you gonna is your house gonna sink into a sinkhole? Like big
Probably.
caves
There
sound
are
cool,
big sinkholes.
but that's
Wow.
that's scary. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if her house sank into a sinkhole, but it stayed intact, that would be cool because you could
That
just
would be
continue
cool.
living in a cave.
That would
All right.
increase your property value for sure.
Absolutely.
This does not give a very straightforward answer.
The answer is no.
except to say that tooth enamel and other enamel is made out of calcium crystals, so it's essentially the same exact fucking thing.
You asked if it was made out of teeth.
Yeah, bathtubs are not made out of teeth. Let's just put this to rest.
Because we can mimic the same product as tooth enamel is not the same as is it made out of teeth. You see the difference, right? I need to know that you see the difference.
Fine, but they're very similar.
Oh, great.
Okay.
No one's debating that. Congratulations. I need you to tell me that you understand.
I need to hear you say the words. Okay,
Michael, I need to hear you say you're not the Godfather.
I have to keep going.
I'm so sorry. I need you to say it.
Say it.
I won't.
Say it.
I need more information. I'm going to do my own research.
Oh, that
my
always
God.
ends well. Maybe there's something on YouTube you can cite.
Reddit.
Okay.
I'm a bathtub truther.
Here's a fucking patriarchy moment for us.
Ooh.
The first Miss America pageant, which I believe I talked about this briefly when we did our pageant crimes episode.
Mm-hmm.
The first Miss America pageant was held on the Atlantic City Boardwalk in September of 1922. The winner was 16-year-old Margaret Gorman of Washington, D.C., who took home a $100 prize and a Golden Mermaid trophy.
Okay.
Let's-
16 is feeling a little creepy
Yeah.
considering what the pageant is now, but I imagine then contestants were probably younger, maybe?
Well, I'm not done yet with this
Oh,
quote.
God. Okay.
Legendary labor union leader Samuel Gompers was there for the contest and was creepily effusive about the teenage winner, saying, quote, "She represents the type of womanhood America needs. Strong, red-blooded, able to shoulder the responsibilities of homemaking and motherhood. It is in her type that the hope of the country rests."
Hips like two battleships.
Yep, so nothing's changed,
Young,
basically.
virile.
There's always a man at the pageant.
and ready to make white babies.
Yeah, there was a lot of coded language in there. Red-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Able to shoulder the responsibilities of
Of
homemaking
motherhood.
and motherhood.
Mm-hmm. It's,
Which, those are big responsibilities to shoulder, but
yeah,
ish. That's a laugh you can hang your hat on.
Mhm.
Yeah. but also both should be a fucking choice. And you don't have to shoulder it if you don't
Now that
fucking
you're
want to.
engaged, Amanda, I hope you're able to shoulder the responsibilities of homemaking and motherhood.
We have an appointment with our reverend this week to make sure we are both ready for the commitment of marriage.
After all, it is in your tap that the hope of the country rests.
In my loins.
Are
that
you
the hope of
red-blooded
the
enough?
I am.
New Jersey is the only state without a state song, in part because the frontrunner was deemed too obnoxious.
Should have won on that alone. Override the veto, baby.
Songwriter Red
Override the
Mascara. Did you get that?
Yep.
Red mascara.
That's the name of the man who wrote the song.
Love.
Red
Cool.
Mascara penned the song "I'm from New Jersey" in 1960 and spent the next 55 years lobbying to make it official, the official
Give it up,
song.
Red.
Damn.
Unfortunately, Mascara's song was a bit of a dud, as was his campaign to sway legislators with regular visits to the state house where he would hand out gumdrops.
Oh my God.
So Governor William Cahill
Ish,
reportedly...
that's so creepy.
I know. Governor William Cahill reportedly declared in 1970, quote, "If there's one thing worse than the song I'm from New Jersey, it is red mascara singing I'm from New Jersey."
My God, red mascara.
Mascara passed away in June 2015 at the age of 92.
Well, now I feel bad.
His quest unfulfilled.
Oh,
Well,
1952.
go lay
Okay, I don't
gumdrops
feel
on
bad.
his grave. Okay.
Gumdrops. Of course it didn't work.
Fucking ish.
They were probably licorice flavored.
People's hobbies and
Gag.
lifelong goals, I don't understand.
People need to be stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are a mess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, my favorite fact, the Maine Coon cat, which is the official state cat of Maine, is the largest domestic cat breed. And with their thick, layered fur coats, they're perfectly adapted for Maine's snowy winters. I don't know why I can't talk today.
So it's literally Maine Coon?
Yeah, the state of Maine Coon.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you think it was Maine without the E, like
Yes.
primary coon cat?
Yes.
They are huge.
They're
They're
big.
enormous.
They're big. They're like dogs.
They're such cool cats. They remind me of, what is it, those like Norwegian snow
Forest
cats or
cats.
forest cats? Yeah, those things are
Mhm.
so cool.
You know what? I asked for a cat DNA kit for Christmas so I could test Ray, and I didn't fucking get it. So now I have
Treat
to buy
yourself.
it my goddamn self.
Get
Yeah,
it
your
for
husband's
yourself
in
for Valentine's Day.
trouble.
I am going to go to CatCon in 2022. It's on
Where
October
is it?
1st and 2nd. It's in Pasadena, I think.
Oh.
I'm fucking going.
Go.
Live your life.
Stephen Ray
Live.
Morris, text me
Mark
if you want
my
to meet up.
words.
Okay, I got 2 more fun facts in this section. Earmuffs were invented in Maine by a 15-year-old boy named Chester Greenwood in 1870 to keep his ears warm when he went ice skating.
Oh, his earms.
Ears. Okay, so I have a little bit of Maine slang for you because they have a very bizarre language of their own.
Okay.
So if you say you're going up to camp, that just means you're going somewhere more rustic.
Like
Not
Okay.
necessarily north. Not necessarily. It's just somewhere, your
Oh.
cabin or the lake or the shore or whatever. I'm going up to camp.
Right.
If you say someone is from away, that just means someone who's not a Maine native going back at least 3 generations.
Whoa.
So,
So,
she's from away. She doesn't know where Beans is. She's from away.
So like even if they were born in Maine and their parents were born in Maine,
You could still be considered from away.
From away.
Or, AKA a flatlander.
Amazing.
Ooh.
I mean xenophobic, but amazing.
Yeah, the exclusivity of Maine.
It's so fucking rural, though. Like,
Mhm.
They're
it is-
definitely known for being their own unique culture.
That
Yep.
came up very much in my research.
Yep. Well, on that note, if you ask for directions and somebody says can't get there from here, all that means is that they don't care to give you directions to wherever you're
Oh
asking.
my God.
Can't get there from here.
We need to do
Turn
a
and
Maine
walk
show
away.
and just see how mean everybody is.
Yeah,
I
we
need
should.
to know.
Mean Mainers.
Mean Maine. I'm in. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Let's do it.
Portland.
If you don't know something, you could say hard telling, not knowing.
They're like the East Coast Minnesotans.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm feeling that. I'm
Yep.
feeling
Wow.
that strongly.
Hard telling, not knowing. And then if you're very busy, you can say you're right out straight.
Okay.
I can't, I'm right out straight.
All right.
Or if
You
someone you
Could say that.
could. If you knock on someone's door and they don't answer and you hear them yell, "I'm down cellar," that means they're in the basement.
That I can follow.
I'm down cellar, come in. Pucka brush is any type of scratchy scrub brush that might scratch your legs. They might say, "Careful, there's pucka brush up ahead."
Or it could be how somebody tries to say pocketbook when they're drunk.
Pucka brush. Pocket brush.
Yes, the pocket
I
brush.
can't find my
pocket
pocket brush.
Can you grab my pocket brush? It's on the table.
I left my pocket brush in the
It's
can.
down cellar. It's down
You
cellar.
grab my pocket brush down cellar.
Can't get there from here.
Hard selling on that one.
I'm telling you now.
Hard selling not knowing where my pocket brush
It's
is.
just right out straight. It's fine. It's just right out straight. It's gonna be fine.
Also, if you want to
Can't
agree,
get there from here.
if you want to agree or like affirm something, you can say Aya.
Okay.
AYUH. Aya.
Why? Why?
I bet it's from
Hard telling
like,
not knowing.
I bet it's like from Scottish and Irish and whatever
Like I.
immigrants who would say I.
Yeah,
instead of
Aya.
yes.
Yep.
Sure. Okay.
I made that up. That's speculation. I don't
Who
know.
knows? It's all speculation. Okay, something a little more pertinent. Even though Maine is relatively small compared to other U.S. states in the U.S., there are an awful lot of places and ways to go missing.
Yeah, we mentioned the forests and the rivers.
And the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much
And the
more.
cellars.
The cellars. As of the most recent data in 2022, there are 108 actively missing people in the state of Maine. So by comparison, Minnesota has 179. Rhode Island has 20, which is the least number of missing people. And
But it's also this big.
The smallest state. Yeah.
Right. And
One of them.
California, the largest or the most missing people, has about 2,133 missing people right now. So the
Wow.
average with the currently available data is about 303 missing people in every state.
Wow.
Santa Fe, the capital, was founded in the year 1610 and is the oldest continuously used seat of government in North America.
That's wild. That's amazing.
Because I think, most, if not all, other states like had a capital. They started with like just the city on the river that had like the most economic progress.
Right.
But then at a certain point, they decided to move all of those capitals into something more centrally located in the state.
Right.
Like, for example, Iowa City used to be the capital of Iowa, but then they moved it to Des Moines because it was more in the middle of the state.
Yeah, easier for representatives to get there.
Exactly. So Santa Fe is like, it's always been
Santa Fe.
the capital of,
Cool.
yeah, it's always been Santa Fe. Also, there is a Roswell McDonald's that is in the shape of an alleged UFO.
Love that.
OMG.
I want to go to there.
Yes.
It's like the rock and roll McDonald's that kind
Rest
of
in
is no
peace.
more. I know.
Yeah.
RIP.
When's the best time of year to go?
To the Roswell McDonald's any time of year.
Roswell McDonald's.
When's
When
the
are-
best
When are
time
the
to visit?
chicken nuggets in
Yeah, when are they
season?
ripe? When are they most ripe?
I went in May and it was very pleasant.
Okay.
I would imagine like August. It also depends on where you're going to go because the eastern part of the state is very much like Great Plainsy, and then you get into like Southern Rockies territory. So the natural landscape is varying.
But like prob's not summer.
I would say avoid
Little
summer
hat.
anywhere close to the equator, anywhere remotely close to the equator as a Minnesotan, but
Yeah. Could we book the Roswell McDonald's as a live show venue?
No,
Probably.
they'd lose money.
oh.
They'd
Well,
never
we'll
take
look
it.
into it.
I'm going to reach out to our agent about this. I'm getting ideas. Ideas are
Whenever
flowing.
we have to have a launch party for anything, I don't know what we're launching.
Yes, okay. We're
But
that's
if we're
the venue.
launching something, it's going to be from a McDonald's in the shape of a UFO.
It's either the
Done.
Roswell McDonald's or that fancy new Taco Bell that's going in Bloomington that delivers your tacos in a bank tube to your car.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
a wild and crazy Taco Bell going into like an old Wells Fargo where they're keeping the
It has
bank
like the
tube
suction
system
tubes.
Yeah.
to send
Yeah.
you your
Oh, I'm
food.
aware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's going to
Yeah,
be
honey.
epic. It's in the works right now.
Imagine
The
having
Taco
to
Bell of
clean
America, right by the Mall of America.
all those perfectly square tomato
Yo.
pieces out of that tube.
You know that I will be requiring both of your presence here to
fuck up the
attend
backseat
On
of your
opening
car.
day.
opening day. Fuck up my car. I don't even care. I don't even care. It's worth
We'll
it.
pitch in for your
My
total
detailing.
detailing of your car afterwards.
Thank you.
We'll pitch in for your chalupas.
Okay, so these last two fun facts that I have for you are my fucking favorite, and they are from Atlas Obscura. Shout out to Ben for helping me find these fun facts because, oh my God, they're so good.
Thanks, Ben.
So most rumble strips, like on a highway, like the bumpy part on a highway, alert drivers that they've strayed too close to the edge of the road with a loud grating vibration.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The grooved lines on a sleepy stretch of Route 66 near Tijeras, New Mexico, have a different trick up their sleeves. They sing.
Yeah, they're musical.
What?
On this quarter-mile section of the highway, the rumble strips have been engineered to sound like the song America the Beautiful.
Will
is
wonders
like-
never cease?
No, literally no. But they won't croon their patriotic tune for just anyone with a lead foot. Drivers have to be going exactly 45 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, to hear the vibrations in action.
So I've clearly never heard it.
No, you've never heard it.
No. Amanda heard
Yeah,
America.
like a
Sky's over.
a sped up record player. It just sounds insane. It's the sound you hear before you die.
So the quote-unquote musical highway was installed in 2014 as part of a partnership between the New Mexico Department of Transportation and the National Geographic Channel. It's designed to encourage drivers on the otherwise unremarkable stretch of the historic road to slow down and adhere to the speed limit.
Yeah, that's on like the original Route 66, not like the super highway that's
It's not the Autobahn
Correct.
66.
Yeah, because the speed limit is definitely not 45 on
Other parts.
that route.
Yeah.
But yes,
Probably slows
if you're
down
gonna go
near
down-
populated areas.
you have to do stretches on the original Route 66 on that road trip. It's so fun. And then you get like the wild roadside attractions.
Mhm. Yeah. If you're going to go on 66 for the 66 experience.
Get off the highway at
Get
least
off
a
the
couple
highway.
times for
Yeah.
a couple stretches.
Okay, so now I will teach you some Pittsburghese.
Okay.
So this doesn't have to do with the accent necessarily. This is just slang. Not
Okay.
slang, but like their vocabulary.
Yeah, colloquialisms.
Yeah.
Local
Colloquialisms.
Rural
local
jurors.
cloacas. Rural jurors.
Oh my God, I love cloacas. Okay. So the phrase all over means covered with. So for example, I fell down and I'm all over mud.
Okay.
Okay.
These were submitted by actual people who live in Pittsburgh. So
Okay,
these are not coming from me. They were sourced.
Okay.
So we kind of covered Nat. It's
Mhm.
N''AT, which means and so forth. It's used for emphasis. So for
Yeah.
example, we went shopping in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that.
Anem is an associate of a named person, and it must be used directly after said person's name. So, for example, Jim and M went downtown in that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jim and them.
Wow.
Jim and them. Yeah.
Amanda
So
and
and
them.
them is like
David and them.
If Jim and some friends went downtown and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim
it's
and
like
them.
et
Okay.
al.
Got it. Yeah.
Et al.
Perfect.
Jim and M went downtown. Downtown.
Downtown and that.
Downtown and that. So yins means you two are. So this is a second person plural. So for example, yins are a cute couple.
God,
I
hate
think
that.
it can be
All
more
right.
than two. I think it can be more than two. It's sort of like y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know that it has to be two specifically. Yins.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, jins translates to did you guys. So jins hear what I just said.
Oof.
I know. I don't.
Oh, okay.
This is hurting.
I know.
me.
So
It hurt-
it's-
it's not.
It's not
the
intuitive.
digya
It's
plus
not
the
intuitive.
U.
It's not intuitive.
all.
I have to think really hard about this to translate it.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate the complexity. I just am not well enough for this today.
it's linguistically, it's vibrant. It is
Mhm.
its own.
This is what happens with all languages. I mean, this
Yep.
is
Mhm.
linguistics. Yeah.
I mean, someone out there is in the same pain I'm in having OPE explained to them, so
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, we have
Different.
plenty of these.
Oh,
Interesting.
Oop is just O and oops combined.
Yeah, but it's
combined.
so versatile.
Combined.
It's
It is so
versatile.
versatile.
My
and
God, you can use it in any situation.
You really
Right.
can.
I'm putting
but
OPE
also
in my
you
vowels.
can misuse it. And then it's real uncomfortable.
It's
Yeah,
when,
not great.
It's
I'm, OPE, about to read my vows. I'm going to say that at my wedding. And my other favorite thing to explain to people is the difference between, oh, yeah, no, and no, yeah, no. Because those are two very different
no.
expressions.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no.
No, yeah.
No, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, no. No.
we know
no.
we can
Completely
follow
different.
it exactly. And sometimes, the string really
It
goes
makes a
on for a
difference.
while.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh,
and
no,
I could
no,
not
yeah.
sit down
No,
and
yeah,
explain
yeah, no.
it, but I could understand it and do it
Oh, no, yeah. for
without
sure.
any problem.
It's very
Yeah.
contextual.
Extremely contextual.
No, yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, the
no,
Midwest, it's like a very melodic dialect. Your tone makes a big
It's tonal.
difference.
Oh,
Very
it's both
tonal.
nasal and tonal.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Our next vocab word is KK.
Mm.
KK means
That's too close to the one with the third K.
KK means KDKA, which is Pittsburgh's first radio station.
Oh.
So everyone
okay.
listens to KK. KK is the only station I listen to.
So it's them just shortening KDKA.
Yeah,
KK.
KK.
All right.
So
Efficient.
they instead of just, they say jest. Just one of those things.
Okay.
I just listen to KK.
Mm-hmm.
People use the word once sort of weirdly. So Pittsburgh folks tend to do things, quote, once. So for example, I'm going down to the basement once.
Okay, so
Weird.
in this context, is it like I'm going down and I don't want to make another trip, or is it like I'm going down real quick?
Like I'm going down real quick. It's one event. I'm going next door once.
Okay.
I'm going upstairs once. Like
Okay.
yeah, like it just happened.
All right.
Got it. Weird.
My mom says this next one, so you'll both be familiar. Pert near means almost. So it pert near killed him.
I have
like-
never heard your mom say that, but I
she
love
says it a lot. Pert near.
Wrecked him.
My-
Bert near killed him.
Yeah.
My grandpa, who is not connected to Pennsylvania, but has the Scottish ancestry, he said Warsht and Washington for some reason. And then he also said cranes instead of crayons.
Oh.
Like your cranes are all over the floor. Pick up your cranes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm
My
not
grandma-
exaggerating. Like he said it like that.
My grandma says Warsht, but she's from North Dakota.
So, okay.
Mhm.
So my grandpa was born in North Dakota. So there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Also, I've never heard the cranes pronunciation,
Mhm.
but we always pronounced it crayon, and a lot of people in the Midwest say crayon.
I say crayons. Crayons. Pick up your
Mhm.
crayons.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, got
Milk, bagel.
Milk. I grew up saying milk,
Milk.
and then
Mhm.
I changed in college.
Mhm.
milk.
Mhm.
Milk.
Milk. It's an
Mhm.
A.
Milk.
Milk.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, you are.
Some people from Iowa say pillow instead of pillow.
Ugh.
My cousins say pillow.
The disgust.
Ugh.
People in Buffalo say bagel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could do
Anyway.
a whole episode on pronunciation
guys.
crimes, which would just be
Apparently
us
we are.
ranting.
I'm having so much fun with this. Continue.
Okay, a couple more vocab words for us. Seeing that means because. So, for example, I'm going to
Seeing as that I am going
yeah.
here.
I'm going to the game, seeing that I got tickets for free.
Okay.
Scenes that I got. That one rolls off the tongue.
That
Seeing
one
that I got
makes
tickets
sense.
for free. Yeah, seeing it because since maybe.
Seeing as that. Yeah.
Yeah. So's, S-O''S, is short for so as I would. So, for example, too bad yins can't send too bad yins can't send an iron over, so's have some for the Stillers game.
So as to. Okay.
An iron is like a beer, I think.
Yeah.
Too bad yins can't send an iron over, so's have some for the Stillers
Arn.
game.
Mm-hmm. Steelers. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
What for? It's not even what for, it's just what. So, for example, what for kind of fish is that?
Oh, I don't like that. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
love
that's
that.
a rough one.
I could see it as like, no.
Also, don't.
Oh my God, I just didn't even think about that. Holy fuck.
What?
I'm sorry. I
No,
literally
yeah,
just did.
no.
Like so naturally.
It was so natural. I did not know what you were
I was
reacting
not
to.
even
I
putting
was like,
that
what
on.
happened?
It just slipped out.
Yeah, no,
No.
yeah, it happens. Yeah,
No,
no.
yeah, no,
Uh-huh.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get that one. Yeah, no, yeah.
No.
So instead of
Yeah.
exactly, people say exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yins know exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
Exactly, Dr. Phil. Exactly.
Sarah Harvey, a Quaker from Richmond, explained in an 1835 letter to her relatives, quote, old settlers in Indiana are called Hoosiers, and the cabins they live in are called Hoosier nests. So as you recall, that is the name of
So
the
a Hoosier is
poem.
not a type of bird.
Correct.
Because
Was
they
that
keep
your
talking, well, if they keep talking about Hoosier nests,
well, the nest meaning just the place where they live.
Yeah.
okay. I don't know. It's
We'll
just
get
a
to the birds.
question.
Don't worry.
Oh, good.
So here are a couple
I
other.
was worried.
Here are a couple of. Did you think I'd leave out birds from my
I
background in
honestly,
psych?
for a minute, I
Hashtag
was like,
Indiana bird facts.
is she going to neglect the birds? Never neglect the birds.
Birds are fucking creepy. Okay.
They're not real. They're all drones.
I told you about the owl that Corey saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
So scary.
Essentially, there was an owl in the tree outside of our house, and a bunch of crows were like squawking at it. And Corey went outside,
Crows have
and
eyes.
the crows got scared and flew away because they have eyes. And the owl had its back to Corey, and as he was getting in its car, the owl just slowly turned its head 180 degrees and like made
Whoa.
eye contact
Hate
with Corey, and he was like, "Oh,
You're cursed.
I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die within 24
Yep.
hours."
7 days.
Owls are so cool, but I never.
They're so scary. You don't want to fuck with an owl.
No,
Yeah,
I don't want to
they're
make
really-
eye contact.
I
with it.
revere them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It like I revere a medieval executioner.
Mhm.
Okay, so here are a couple of other theories on the origin origin of the word Hoosier.
Okay.
So another one is whose ear. So writer James Whitcomb Riley joked, this is satirical, that this question supposedly posed by early Indiana settlers following a tavern fight, which had resulted in someone's ear being cut off and left on the floor, whose ear
Okay. Well,
eventually
I
became the
love
word
that.
Hoosier.
I
Wow.
love that. That's the one. That's
Yeah.
the winner.
Or whose year. This is supposedly the way early Indiana settlers would respond to a knock on their cabin doors. So the first one we heard was like the census callers, who's here. But then this is saying maybe the people who answered the door, who's here. And then that was eventually shortened to Hoosier.
Knock, knock.
Don't like
Hoosier.
the knocking ones. It's stupid.
Or who's your blank, like who's your grandpa,
Who's your daddy?
your sister, who's your daddy.
Who's your daddy?
Again, this legend has the legend is that this question was eventually shortened to Hoosier, but also kind of implies that like Indiana back then had a bunch of really small towns, so people would know each other. Like, oh, my uncle is so and so. So a Roseville man who dropped a couple of F-bombs after falling out of his canoe was convicted in 1999 under a law that had been on the books since 1897, prohibiting, quote, indecent, immoral, obscene, vulgar, or insulting language in the presence or hearing of any woman or child.
What if we had just been dragged away by police after our live show?
Because we swore
Full
in front
of
of each
women.
other.
Well, because it was post-2002, in 2002, the conviction was overturned by the Michigan Court of Appeals and the law was struck down at the same time. So,
What asshole arrested him?
I'm sure he was just fined. It said he was convicted, but it's probably just a fine, right?
I don't know.
I imagine
Does
some
conviction
Karen
imply a jail
Yeah,
sentence?
was like, my
complained.
children.
Yeah.
He fell
And he
out
got
of
a
his
fine.
canoe, people, okay? He was startled.
Leave him the
Oh my
fuck
God.
alone.
I shoveled 1/5 of my sidewalk yesterday and swore probably 65 times.
Yeah,
Yep,
it just
been there.
flows out of my mouth.
It's my it's my native language.
This reminds me of like the ridiculous laws in Parks and Recreation that are like still in Pawnee.
There are tons of them.
Last one. Brighton and Grand Rapids have laws against being annoying,
I
Well,
like it.
I will
although-
steer clear of Brighton and Grand Rapids.
right? Although Grand Rapids, obviously unwilling to foot the bill for jailing its entire populace, is planning to abolish that law ASAP.
That's funny. Oh, how fun were those facts?
I love fun facts. Wacky facts, weird facts, zany facts, factoids.
Factotum. I don't actually know what a factotum is, you guys.
I don't either.
Okay, great.
No idea.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, fun facts are great, but this is still a true crime show.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some pretty highly requested cases.
Yes.
One of them, Kenyon's case, the highly requested Kentucky Cornbread Mafia case.
I loved that case.
Yep, that's a wild case. And followed by the darkest case maybe I've ever done.
You fucked me up with this case.
I'm
and that says a lot
sorry.
considering what Kenyon usually brings to the table.
True. To be fair, I feel like I had the fan pick for this one.
I think you did, and our fans are sickos.
Yeah, but I'm still glad we covered it because it's an important case.
It's important. It was just pretty grisly. So,
Yeah.
in
Let's
honor
go
of
down.
in honor of Kenyon's absence, Amanda took on the mantle of the darkest fucking case.
You're fucking welcome, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's dive in, shall we?
Yeah, let's take a stroll down a macabre memory lane. It can be hard to fit everything in. Especially when it comes to luggage.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Luggage, of course.
Listen, I am an overpacker. We all know Kenyon is an overpacker.
Good Lord. I'm an overpacker when it comes to underwear because you never know.
Same. I pack like I'm going to soil myself 18 times a day.
Yeah.
And with base, there is room for everything, even your 500 pairs of underwear for a weekend trip. Like, no problem. Bring all that extra underwear, bring extra pairs of pants, bring it all with base.
Oh, bring extra shoes.
Oh, okay. Love that.
Their luggage is so spacious. So Base was created by actress Shay Mitchell to make sleek and affordable bags, luggage, and accessories designed to help you travel effortlessly while still looking very fashionable. Base has thought of everything you could ever want in a piece of luggage. 360-degree gliding wheels. We love that.
Oh, yeah.
A cushioned handle, built-in weight indicator, washable bags for your dirty clothes, and all the interior pockets.
The weight indicator. Hi.
Yeah, it's just
Never
everything-
again will you be at the airport having to take things out of your bag and put them like on your body because your bag is overweight.
Oh yeah, do I need to pay an extra $1,000 because I'm
thank you.
51 pounds?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Their luggage comes in multiple sizes and colors, and for shorter trips, the Weekender bag is super functional and even has a place to store your shoes separately. Like I said, we have the Weekender bag. I love the structure.
It's gorgeous.
The handles are really soft, too, so it's like comfortable to sling over your shoulder or just to carry. I love it.
Honestly, the Weekender bag also makes an incredible diaper bag. Like, the storage is unbelievable. You want to be like, chic parent? Hi, get the base Weekender. Done.
Every piece is made to look better with miles, so you don't have to worry about it in cargo or overhead, and Base has over 30,000 five-star reviews.
Oh,
So
love.
whether you're packing for a quick trip or looking to breeze through that security line, Base has your personal items covered.
Obsessed. And right now, Base is offering our listeners 15% off your first purchase by visiting basetravel.com/gals. Go to basetravel.com/gals for 15% off your purchase. That's BEIS travel.com/gals. And treat your travel.
Trader.
Do the night sweats have you feeling sad? Because
Sad and damp.
yeah. Are you feeling sad and damp? Are you tossing and turning and feeling tired? You got to invest in your best rest with the Marlowe pillow. This is an adjustable, cooling new pillow from the creators of Brooklinen. It's your all-in-one solution for common nighttime concerns like overheating, check, neck pain, check, and so much more. Tell us more.
I am so picky about my pillows. It also just maybe depends on the season.
Listen, I
I'm
slept
a
on a
brat about my
Squishmallow.
pillows.
I slept on a Squishmallow for like 6 months because
Yes.
I couldn't find a pillow I liked until now.
Well, Marlowe has your back because it's adjustable. You just unzip the sides if you want it like a little more thick, a little fuller, a little more cloudy, cushiony. Or you can zip them up if you like a little more compact. Maybe it's just like an extra 50% pillow to go on top of another pillow.
Oh, love.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So Marlowe is the newest sub-brand from the sleep experts at Brooklinen. Ever heard of it?
Yup.
Who have over 8 years of experience in the sleep space and over 100,000 five-star reviews for their line of sheets, comforters, and more. You know we love Brooklinen.
Oh, yeah.
So Brooklinen saw through customer feedback that people are struggling with pillows, with overheating and confusion around firmness levels being some of the biggest concerns. Their team spent 7 years talking with their customers, doing research and crafting dozens of samples to reach this final incredible design.
Yup.
So, like I said, it's adjustable. Marlowe is the Goldilocks of pillows, thanks to 2 unique zippers on each side that makes customization a breeze. So like I said, you can unzip both for a soft plush feel or keep them zipped up for a more dense and firm feel, or like somewhere in between.
Right.
Fully adjustable. I love that adjusting this pillow is as easy as 2 zips rather than having to manually add or remove filling. Who wants
Right?
that?
Nobody wants to do that.
I'm
no
not a
one.
pillow manufacturer.
No.
It should be this easy. It's
Not a
genius.
pillow cobbler.
No. A pillow haberdasher.
Absolutely not.
Every side of Marlowe is the cool side of the pillow thanks to gel-infused chopped memory foam. Hi.
Obsessed. Hi.
2
Love.
ventilated zipper gussets. I love a good gusset.
Me too.
And breathable mesh that prevents heat retention and keeps your body at an optimal temperature all night long. And I'm not kidding you when I say that the Marlowe pillow utilizes NASA technology.
Oh, yeah.
You're
That NASA?
basically in space.
Wow.
For its proprietary fill of memory foam and polyester fiber that provides maximum comfort and support. And with a 365-day return policy and 2-year warranty, you can rest easy and dream big on the comfiest, most supportive pillow on the market.
So don't sleep on these pillows. Invest in your best rest today by heading to marlowpillow.com. You could bundle and save up to 40% on your purchase with an additional 20% off for first-time customers. And treat your sleep.
Trade it.
I definitely spent more time on this case than any other.
Oh,
Then
great.
you spent Googling whether bathtubs are made out of teeth.
That is pretty much neck and neck. But anyway.
Jury's still out, people. Wake up, sheeple.
No, it's not.
Wake up, sheeple.
Well, the
Tooth enamel
4-year-old
and
girl who
bathtub enamel
also
are the
Googled
same.
it.
Are people.
Soylent
All right.
Green.
So for most
Soylent
sheeple,
clean.
Kentucky is probably much more likely to bring to mind stories of bootlegging than marijuana farming.
Oh.
But Barron County has very good soil.
But the state, and in particular the area of Marion County,
Oh, Madam Librarian County.
Marion.
Madam Librarian.
I made Zach watch The Music Man like not that long ago. He had never seen it, and he was
With a
like,
capital T and that rhymes with P and it stands for pool.
P and that stands for pool.
It's one of my favorite musicals.
It's the best.
It's
All right.
so
A little
good.
talk, a little big,
So-
a little talk, a little big. Sorry.
Okay.
Beep, 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 ba-da-da-ba-da-da-da.
One Grecian herb.
That is Lucy.
We need to do a rewatch. It won't hold up. Warning.
Okay, so Marion County, Kentucky has a lengthy history in both illicit industries of bootlegging and marijuana farming. So Marion County, located in basically the exact center of the state, was one of the most prolific and well-known producers of moonshine back in the day. The infamous gangster John Dillinger even hid out for a time in Gravel Switch, Kentucky, which is located in Marion County.
Check
Maybe
out
this
my
is
gravel
why,
switch.
Like NASCAR is kind of big
Oh,
in
maybe.
Kentucky, right? 'Cause
Sure.
It has its roots in
Rum running.
running.
It could be. I mean, basically, people just were like very into moonshining and bootlegging and like not fucking snitching on anybody. And we will get to it.
You also have all those mountains and all those rolling hills and
So many
forests.
caves and crevasses.
You can hide.
You can hide out. And it's very rural, and people are just like gonna help their
Bored. Oh,
neighbor and not
right.
gonna fucking help the feds.
Mm-hmm. There are no snitches.
No snitches in Gravel Switch.
Mm.
So, even when Prohibition finally ended, restrictive alcohol sale laws were not entirely repealed in Kentucky, leaving the state as a patchwork of wet and dry counties and ensuring that there was like a continuing market for moonshine. And it's
Yeah, that's not complex at all.
A patchwork of wet and dry counties is probably not that effective.
not very effective for buying alcohol, but it is like effective for allowing moonshiners to still market their product.
Oh, yeah. And especially like you said, there's so many counties. So they're probably very small counties. So like a literal checkerboard of this wet and dry.
Yeah.
Like you just go a couple miles down the road and get what you need.
Exactly. But also there's like evidence that the moonshiners wanted their counties to be dry counties because if like legal liquor stores opened up, they wouldn't be
they're
able
out
to
of
sell
business.
their moonshine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Supply
Oh,
and
yeah.
demand. Oh, yeah.
So then, about a decade after the repeal of the 18th Amendment, the United States federal government began subsidizing the growing of hemp on numerous Kentucky farms. And that is because the fiber from hemp was used in World War II to manufacture ropes and lines for the U.S. Navy.
Oh, yeah.
Because hemp is actually extremely useful.
And durable.
Yeah. And sustainable because it grows really fast. This policy was referred to as hemp for victory. And for the duration of World War II, it made marijuana not only legal, but highly encouraged as a crop for farmers to cultivate.
During World War II?
Yep.
Wow.
Listen, marijuana was not federally made illegal until like in our parents' lifetime.
Like there was like a push in the 30s, and then they were like, wait, never mind, backtrack, we need the hemp. And then in the 50s, after the war, they were like, never mind, people are getting high off this, crack down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. We can put black people in prison for this.
Right.
Let's make it illegal.
Right.
It's
right.
profitable.
Black people and Latino people.
Yep.
So hemp and marijuana are both derived from the same plant species. They just contain different THC content. And so hemp seeds contain very, very little THC, whereas other parts of the plant contain higher levels of THC, which is what gets you high.
Like the flower and the bud.
And the bud and the stem. And I don't know anything about pot, so I had to Google
Northern
that.
Lights
Stem. That's why you
indica.
take the stems
I
out.
don't know because I don't care. So anyway,
Because I buy good weed that doesn't have seeds or stems.
I've actually never even bought weed. I know so little about it. Like I smoke it when it is given to me. I've never bought it.
Oh, I have a quick
Oh
anecdote.
my God.
So I'm not going to name any specifics, but I was asked to drive a coworker home. And I'll just say we worked in a restaurant together.
I was gonna say you
And
only
he
have
worked in the
2
kitchen
coworkers,
and I was a bartender.
and they're on this call right now. So this is gonna be easy
This
to
was a
figure out who it
long
is.
time ago.
Past
Okay.
coworker.
This was a
Okay.
past life, long time ago. And we get to his house and he's like, oh, come in and like we can smoke like as a thank you for driving me home, whatever. I was like, okay.
You're like, I have to drive home, but okay.
Well, I lived very, very close. But I'm not justifying anything. I was very young, very stupid, and actually didn't end up smoking, which I will explain this anyway. So he comes inside and he hands me a Frisbee full of like really bad weed. And he's like, here, just break this up. I'm going to go change my clothes quick. And I was like,
Okay.
what does that mean? And he was like, just pick out like the seeds and the stems. And I was like, oh, okay. Obvious to the eye. What is the stem
is
and
the
what is
seed
the
or
seed?
stem?
And he's like, I'll just fucking do it. It was like, on second thought, this is very foreign to me. This specific shitty weed. So I'm just gonna go home. I'm good actually.
I'm out.
Yeah.
It's like,
I just
I
had
didn't
no
know.
desire to like learn about it, and people who knew a lot about it were really annoying and like
very annoying
and like show offy about it. So I just opted out.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
okay, so Kentucky was tasked with growing hemp for the war effort in order to provide seeds to the government, which could then be cultivated in territories with more favorable year-round growing conditions, such as Hawaii. So they were mainly there to like get the seeds.
Get it started
Going.
and then it gets sent
Yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah.
So in 1942, the U.S. government asked Marion County to produce enough seed for 500,000 acres of hemp,
Dang.
Whoa.
roughly enough for 453,750 football fields
Whoa.
of marijuana plants.
That's
a
an
lot of
awful lot. That's
weed.
like bigger than Kentucky.
500,000 football fields of pot.
I don't like that.
I
At the
love it.
time, marijuana had not really caught on in the U.S. as a recreational drug to the extent that it later would, especially in Kentucky, where alcohol was still the intoxicant of choice. So a lot of like regular folks, especially rural folks, weren't smoking weed yet. It wasn't common. In fact, many farmers in Kentucky only learned of marijuana's effects accidentally.
Oh, love that.
After harvesting the hemp crop, they would use a thresher to separate the parts of the plant the U.S. government wanted, which was the seeds, from the parts that it didn't. And having no use for the rest of this plant,
Did they
would
burn it off?
set fire to the
Oh.
leftovers,
My God, yes.
and quickly noticed that breathing in the smoke from these
Feels
massive
good.
hot pyres
Feels really good.
made them feel a little strange.
Oh
What
my
was
God.
that movie that took place in like an English tiny little town, countryside town, where like someone started growing weed and like all of the elderly little conservative, tight, buttoned up like British citizens like slowly started getting high?
I don't
and
know.
someone tried to
No.
like burn the field and the whole town got high.
This sounds right up my alley as a
It's
British
straight
widow.
up your alley. I'll Google it. I'll figure it out.
All right. So after World War II, marijuana was reclassified as an illegal crop, but the knowledge of how to successfully grow it had obviously remained amongst those farmers who had done so during the war. And then came the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
It's called
Yeah.
Saving Grace.
Mm.
It's a 2000 British comedy film.
Shaving Grace.
She needs to be shaved.
So Vietnam comes along, obviously a generation later.
Mm-hmm.
And Vietnam is known for heavy drug use among American troops, and it introduced many American young men to drugs like marijuana and heroin for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
both of which could be easily obtained on the black market in Vietnam. And, they needed like an escape from
The hell they were
the
living.
hell of war.
Mm-hmm.
So when some of these Vietnam veterans returned home to Kentucky, they realized that their home state, because it sits on the 37th parallel, the same latitude that runs through the Hindu Kush Mountains, where indica cannabis strains originated, provided the perfect conditions for growing marijuana.
Wow.
So they were like, let's fucking do this. There's high unemployment. There's high poverty in our state. We have
High is right.
Oh, yeah, we have a farming background. We're on this parallel. Let's fucking do it.
And as far as they know, the federal government would like promote it at this point.
Right.
Like,
Well, it wasn't at this point because it's the 70s.
Oh, right. It's illegal by then.
oh, okay.
But
But
they,
in the past,
but like their dad's generation,
Yeah. They're
were
familiar
growing
with the
it.
practice.
right, they weren't
Yeah.
that far removed from the complete acceptance of the federal government.
basically their dads had grown it for the government before being told not to, and their grandfathers were bootleggers.
Mm-hmm. So,
And
like,
moonshiners.
they're going to grow weed in a great weed growing area.
Right.
It's in their blood.
Mm-hmm. So, however, unlike in the days of World War II, growing marijuana in Kentucky was now a much more difficult proposition. At first, these upstart weed farmers cut deals with more established, regular, normal farmers,
Mm-hmm.
some of which had previously cultivated hemp when that had been legal, but now they'd switched to like corn or whatever the fuck.
Something boring like corn.
Corn, which is big in Minnesota.
Big in Minnesota.
Fucking love corn. The food.
Everybody
Did you
loves
know
corn.
that corn enamel is made from teeth?
Oh, my bathtubs. They grind up teeth and
Yep.
bathtubs.
I just pictured a cob of corn made out of molars.
Oh, I bet
yum.
that exists. So anyway, so when they first started, they went to normal farmers and they were like, "Can we grow some marijuana just like sprinkled in between your corn crops so that
Tuck
we
it
don't
away.
get caught, and we will give you a cut of the sale at the end of the season?" And the farmers were like, "Okay, sure, fine." And then they were able to like hide the pot, and everybody was happy, right? It worked well for a while. The only real problem in the early years was marketing the marijuana once it was grown. So people on the coasts who were used to smoking pot tended to look down on the pot that was initially grown in Kentucky and called it hillbilly pot.
It was probably really good weed, though.
Well, at first it wasn't so good, but only in like the first like 2 or 3 years it was like kind of shit, apparently. Although there was lingering knowledge in the community about how to successfully grow the plant, it had never been grown before with the goal of like providing a pleasurable high. It had been grown for hemp seeds.
Right. So,
So
they
they
had to
had-
adjust.
They had to adjust. They had to like tweak it, figure it out.
Fucking West Coast marijuana elitists
Yeah.
have been around for fucking ever.
Right. So they figured it out. They did some experimentation. And with the help of like a really ideal growing climate, soon enough, they had tweaked it enough. They had a really desirable and really high quality marijuana product.
Nice.
But once Kentucky growers grew more skilled at their craft, and as word spread across the country about the quality of this so-called bluegrass,
Kentucky
I see
bluegrass.
what
Love
you
it.
did
Love it.
the industry inevitably grew, and it was no longer enough to just hide a few plants in some corn crops here and there. They
Can't
needed
keep
to
up.
like scale up.
Mm-hmm.
So out-of-state buyers with deep pockets began ordering in advance, and sometimes they would front like $100,000 to these growers for like seed, fertilizer, planting, transplanting, cultivation, harvesting, security, like the whole shebang. They were like, here's a bunch of money up front, and then I expect like this much by the end of the season.
Right. Wow.
During the harvest season, which lasted for a couple months starting in mid-October, it was not unheard of for large West Coast distributors to turn around a ton of Kentucky marijuana per week.
Like a
literal
literal ton.
A
Yeah.
ton.
Wow.
Oh, a week. Jesus.
That's a lot of fucking pot.
Yeah. So within a couple decades, Kentucky boasted the largest homegrown marijuana syndicate in U.S. history.
Wow.
God, who knew?
Fun fact.
And as they started to make more and more money and attract more people into the business, it became almost impossible to continue to fly under the radar of Kentucky police. So word started to get out, and the police started to like search out these marijuana farms. One problem was that as the years went on, some of the newer people that became involved in the growing were more violent than the original group of farmers.
That's
And that also kind of like coincided with like the 1980s and cocaine. So some people started being involved in like cocaine sales, even though they weren't growing cocaine.
There's a lot going on.
Or they were just like doing a lot of cocaine, and then they were paranoid, and then they had the money, so they were buying like guns and Corvettes and like the whole fucking thing.
Just kind of merged into one drug trafficking
Mess.
situation.
Right. Whereas like the original core group, they were living in literal cabins that their ancestors had lived in for like 6 generations.
Yeah.
They were driving beat up old trucks that could
Nothing fancy.
Right, whatever. And then this younger generation was like, fucking Scarface, whatever, and driving a red Corvette in rural Kentucky. And it was like,
suspicious.
really, bruh?
Mm-hmm.
So some would say that they had to be a little more violent and weaponize themselves because they were now dealing with a new phenomenon called rippers, which is like thieves that would come and steal their shit in the middle of the night from their fields. But still, sometimes the lengths to which they went were a little extreme.
Mm-hmm.
So one man who had a particular reputation for violence was named Garland Russell. Once, when he discovered that someone had been poaching plants from a hidden patch near a river, he assembled a crew and descended on the home of a sharecropping family whom he believed to be the culprits. So he just was like, I know who did that. Let's get him. The men opened fire on the small shack, shooting out the windows and killing the family dog.
No.
If it was Smiley Pete, I'm going to scream.
It wasn't Smiley Pete, but it's still just as tragic.
True. It's sad.
It was Frowny Fran.
Not Frowny Fran. My second favorite dog.
So
Lucy only likes dogs that don't exist.
Smiley Pete existed. There are
Okay,
photos.
I'll give you that.
And a memorial bench.
You're right.
So not content to stop, Garland Russell planned to kill the entire family and had to be restrained by his accomplices who were like, we've sent enough of a message.
Yeah,
We don't
we're
need
good.
to massacre this whole family.
Garland is a lunatic.
Yeah. On another occasion, Russell caught 2 rippers in action stealing plants from one of his patches. He chased the thieves down and beat both of them severely before restraining them with lengths of a logging chain.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh, that's dark.
It gets worse. He then used the chain to hog-tie one of them, and the other one he hung upside down from the ceiling of a nearby abandoned house. And then he doused both of them with gasoline and just like left them for a while.
Holy hell.
Didn't light them on fire.
Didn't light them on fire. I think
Left
they
them
survived,
Marinating.
but it was pretty bleak.
Ew.
Ugh.
So, although many other farmers strongly disagreed with these violent tactics, there was
Yeah.
a strong code of silence amongst all of them. And it was understood that nobody involved in the ring or even in the wider community of like Marion County or these nearby Kentucky counties, nobody would rat on each other.
Mhm.
Like it was like pure
Loyalty.
silence.
Yeah.
even some of the like regular farmers had pretty extreme tactics. So many of them had their fields patrolled by Rottweilers who'd had their vocal cords surgically removed.
Oh, God.
Oh, so they'd just be quiet?
So they would
Like
be
sneak up on them?
And then attack.
Yes.
Oh.
Literally, yes. So they wouldn't bark, but they were still trained to attack. And they
So
would
without
just
warning, you'd get mauled by a dog.
a Rottweiler.
Yikes.
That is so
Which
fucking
Rottweilers
sad.
are not inherently dangerous.
No.
No dog
No.
species is inherently dangerous. It's all
Of
about
course.
the socialization.
Yeah, they were trained to
do
be
this.
attack dogs.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And also they could like alert if police were coming, but they would alert in like a visual way and not in a barking way, so police wouldn't know that they had been seen and people could get away.
Wow.
Many also would booby trap their marijuana crops by stringing the plants with fish hooks at eye level. So like the people harvesting them knew that they existed so they could take precautions, but like police wouldn't.
Or thieves.
Or
rippers.
They would do dynamite tied to trip wires.
Oh,
Like
I'm never gonna get over the
basically
fish
a
hooks.
landmine at that
I'd rather
point.
be blown up than have a fish hook in my eyeball.
Mhm. And sometimes live rattlesnakes.
Oh,
that's,
good.
that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Classic.
a fun one.
So at some point, the group of pot farmers in Kentucky began going by the nickname the Cornbread Mafia.
Wow.
Oh, I like that.
It's unclear exactly when this nickname started. The name would not be used in the public until 1989 at a press conference, but it most certainly originated earlier amongst the members themselves. Like they were calling themselves the Cornbread Mafia, and then eventually it became public.
That's hilarious.
Love it when a group gives itself a nickname.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. The first time authorities realized marijuana was being grown in Marion County was likely on July 10th, 1973, when a police officer pulled over a car driven by a 26-year-old local man. The officer saw a grocery bag on the floor by the passenger seat and noticed a particular smell coming from it. The officer then
He just
demanded,
ran over a skunk. I don't
Right?
see what the
Maybe.
big deal is.
No
The officer
probable
then-
cause.
then demanded that the driver pop the trunk, which he apparently did, and then the officer found 59 additional paper bags.
Oh, that's a lot of paper bags.
Ran over a lot of skunks. Lot of skunks. We were skunk collecting.
Each bag, he later estimated, contained enough marijuana to make 100 cigarettes.
Oh,
Amazing.
good
A
estimate.
marijuana cigarette.
Officer.
To do 100 cigarettes of weeds.
Of marijuana.
The devil's lettuce.
The wacky tobacco.
So police in this part of Kentucky already focused a lot of their time and resources on tracking down bootleggers that were still illegally operating. And now they just added tracking down illegal marijuana farms to their list.
Great.
They eventually acquired planes and helicopters so that they could search for marijuana farms from the sky
Oh my
Yikes.
god.
because they were so well hidden from the roads and stuff that like from the sky is like the only way they could find them.
It's so rural. Rural.
Super
Rural.
Once they got the planes though, people were pretty fucked. Like that was
Yeah.
a big game changer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So by this time, the Cornbread Mafia had enough connections and resources that when they felt the authorities were moving in too close, they began moving a large portion of their growing operations to neighboring states. However, they would still transport the product back to Kentucky after processing so that buyers would pay a premium for what they thought was Kentucky bluegrass, even though a lot of it was grown in like Illinois, Minnesota,
Some
Missouri,
crap.
whatever. But it was grown by these Kentucky guys, but it was still grown like all over.
Okay.
Also, there was like funny stories about when one of the guys started a growing operation in like northern Minnesota and how like all of the like local like Scandinavian descendant people had like no fucking clue what was happening, and they like planted corn to hide the marijuana crops.
Yeah.
But they planted the corn late intentionally so that it coincided with like when
The growth.
it coincided with the growth so that the marijuana plants wouldn't be like higher than the corn
Right.
plants.
Sticking
Right.
out like a sore thumb.
And so Sven and Oli were like, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, and Sven and Oli were like,
Oh, a
these
little
guys
late to
don't-
be planting corn. Don't know what you're doing. These assholes are never going to make it.
exactly.
This
Martha, make
fella-
them a hat dish. There's no way they're eating this winter. They're turning their corn so late in the season. What are these yahoos doing over here?
This fellow over here.
This little fella don't know what he's doing.
fucking word for word, exactly, yes. So I just thought
Marianne, this little fella over here don't know what he's doing. You gotta
bet-
make him some food for the winter.
you better make them a hot dish. They're gonna starve.
You got any more of those moose slippers? They're gonna
Better
be
make-
starving and frozen by the time January comes.
Better make him a spare for the root cellar.
Well,
He's
take
gonna
one
need
for the
it.
road, but make sure to bring that
What if we got
Tupperware back.
pickled?
What do we got in the deep freeze? These little fellas gonna need something to get them through the wintertime.
Oh,
Oh,
something.
they're gonna be skin and bones. Anyway.
These skin and bones come May, come
Oh my
spring.
God. That's so
I
cute.
know, isn't that amazing?
I love that.
Everybody was like, "Why are you planning so late?" And they were like, "Don't worry,
Worry
about,
about
it."
it. And also stop asking us questions. I
Hope
want.
you know how to ice fish.
Yeah. You're gonna need it.
Here, I brought you some wood for the fire. You're gonna need it.
Marianne pickled some walleye last season. We didn't go through it all this past year,
Yeah.
so you can take the leftovers.
Here's some lutefisk. I've had enough for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. So police began dedicating themselves to figuring out who the ringleader of this massive growing operation was. And they believed that they had cracked the case when they learned of a man named Bobby Joe Shoemaker,
Oh God.
who managed 12 farms scattered throughout Kansas and Missouri.
That's a lot of farms.
A lot of farms. But after authorities arrested Shoemaker, it soon became clear that he wasn't the cornbread kingpin.
Oh,
And there
the
was
cornbread.
somebody else with an even larger operation still at large.
Uh-oh.
So this person was a Kentucky native named Johnny Boone,
Daniel
Love.
Boone.
who claimed to be descended from Daniel Boone.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah. Same as fucking Boone, and he's from Kentucky.
Super uncommon name.
He would later be referred to as the King of Pot and the Godfather of Grass.
Okay, sir. Maybe we shouldn't give ourselves nicknames.
Yeah, really.
In 1960, at 17 years old, Boone had won the Kentucky 4-H championship for a tobacco farm project, which consisted of, quote, 2.6 acres, which he irrigated, suckered carefully, and
Ish.
saved all of the ground leaves.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then this was actually his second statewide 4-H championship. He'd also won 2 years earlier at 15 for breeding sheep.
Oh, he was a man of the land.
Wow.
So he graduated from high school in 1961, was a football star.
Oh, wow.
And although he had a scholarship for the University of Kentucky, go Wildcats. Actually, I'm a Cardinals fan. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So anyway, Johnny Boone started a family young and remained in his home, Marion County, on the farm that had belonged to his grandfather, who just happened to be a bootlegger.
Got it.
According to one source, quote, Johnny Boone started farming and distilling on both sides of the law to raise his family.
Oh,
Man's
he's
gotta
a
do
family
what a
man.
man's gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Boone is credited as being the early member of the cornbread mafia who had been able to figure out how to successfully breed the plants in order to produce a product that would give people a strong but pleasurable high.
Now we're talking.
Boone, who is described by one source as, quote, an imposing man with a Santa Claus beard, and omerta, the Italian mafia word for code of silence.
Oh, loyalty.
tattooed across his back.
Oh.
And there are
Wow.
photos of this guy on the drive. He does look like Santa Claus.
He does. I was peeking at him earlier. Oh, with a big old doobie.
Mhm.
Check him out.
Yeah. I like how they have his eyes crossed out in this one, but not the next photo.
Right.
He was first arrested in the late 70s when authorities found his growing operation, and he just surrendered. But they didn't realize that he was likely the kingpin of like the whole syndicate.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about his nipple for a second?
Let's.
Which one?
What's wrong with it?
It's just a little folded.
Oh.
It's a
The
little
doobie
small
photo.
and folded. Some
It kind of
nipples
looks
are
like a
folded
skin
little.
tag.
It
Yeah.
looks like a skin tag. And
Leave
it's
his
also the
nips
only nipple you can
alone.
see in his mugshot.
It's a bit much.
Maybe he only has one.
Yeah.
Maybe he lost the other one in a marijuana growing accident. His auger
Smoking
caught it.
pot will decrease your nipples, everyone. So just
Will
watch
decrease.
out.
I don't think
Your
that's true because I
nipples.
Yeah.
smoke a lot of pot and I think it might increase your nipples.
There's no way to know.
There is a way. I'm proof. Correlation and causation, my friends.
The wall behind you is covered in nipples.
Just huge. Tracts of land.
So they catch him. They think they get him for just like one small growing thing. They have no idea that he is the
Right.
real brains behind the operation. He serves his time. It's not a long sentence. He gets out.
Yes.
Then in 1987, there was a massive DEA bust of 70 Kentucky farmers,
Oh, geez.
Boone among them, who had been operating a network of 30 large-scale farms across 10 Midwestern states,
Whoa.
cultivating hundreds of tons of marijuana every year.
He's an
Jesus.
entrepreneur.
That's
But
a
even-
lot.
He's franchising.
It's a lot. They had to have entire farms that they just planted fake crops because they had to have somewhere to
They've
store
got
their equipment for all the other farms.
and probably launder a little money through those farms
Yeah.
too, I would
Oh, yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's genius,
Yeah.
honestly.
So even after this enormous takedown, the code of silence amongst the cornbread mafia didn't waver.
Airtight.
According to one source, of the 70 men arrested, and actually it was 69 men and one woman, but whatever, 0 of them cooperated with authorities.
That's awesome.
Of 70,
That's amazing.
I like that.
which thwarted a case against the suspected ringleaders. Internal documents describe the proposed prosecution of the ringleaders as futile because of the group's collective silence, end quote.
Cornbread is thicker than water, y'all.
Mhm.
I got
Literally.
cornbread in these veins.
Still, this bust was a turning point in the DEA's conception of the drug market in America. Quote, before cornbread, the DEA assumed that the vast majority of American pot was smuggled in from Latin America or Asia. Little did they know the most ideal conditions for growing cannabis was the Kentucky bluegrass region, starting with Marion County.
Right here in their own backyard.
Made
their own
in
15th state.
America. This time, Johnny
By
Boone,
American.
I don't know, it's a gift.
It's a gift. I don't know.
This time, Johnny Boone spent more than 10 years in federal prison, so he copped a longer sentence. When he was released, he went right back to growing and smuggling.
Well,
marijuana.
yeah, he's got to make up for last time.
This continued until 2008 when federal agents raided his farm in Springfield, Kentucky, and seized 2,400 marijuana plants.
Woof.
It was likely just the very tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that he was now facing a possible life sentence without parole under the 3 strikes rule, Boone fled.
Thanks, Clinton.
Yeah. He was featured on an episode of America's Most Wanted,
More smartest, most wanted.
which may have had the opposite of its intended effect because he soon achieved national folk hero status.
Yeah, everyone's going to hide him now. We got to protect this man at all costs.
Save pot, Santa.
Save him, the cornbread king.
Yeah.
I would harbor that man.
I would harbor him with my life.
I would harbor him and his one weird nipple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm
I'm
all
both nips
in.
in.
I'm nipples deep.
A Facebook group
I'm jumping
called
in with both nipples.
Nippy Kaye, motherfucker.
Nice. Well done.
With our 3 nipples combined, we'll take over the world.
So, a Facebook group called Run Johnny Run was devoted to sending messages wishing him well in continuing to evade capture.
I want to join that.
I'm looking it up right
Look at it. Send me an invite.
Well, he managed to remain on the lam until 2016 when he was apprehended in Montreal at 73 years old. He had spent 8 years on the run.
Wow. You know he got a lot of help.
Yeah, from the Kentucky State Police and the U.S. Marshals Service.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh, no. Run, Johnny, Run is a band.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see the picture. I'll take a screenshot.
Are they from Kentucky?
Ooh, I don't know, but they typically reply within a few hours.
Oh, good. Send a DM.
Boston's hottest new band didn't just happen by chance. They've played together for some 30 years. Okay,
But
they're
then
an
how new
authentic
are
rock
they?
rhythm and blues band.
I don't like it. Okay.
Yeah, the hottest new band.
That's been around for 30 years. Something's not adding up. I don't think you know what new means.
There are some suggested
Or
edits.
hottest.
Or hottest.
So, in 2017, Boone pled guilty to a single count of conspiring to grow and distribute more than 1,000 marijuana plants.
Wow.
The Washington Post described his guilty plea as, quote, presumably the end of a drug career powered not by the stereotypical lusts for a flashy lifestyle or power, but simple economics. Indeed, Boone has been quoted as saying of his decision to grow marijuana, quote, we're from a poor place. I don't think anybody here is into any kind of thievery. I can only say that in our area, marijuana is one of the things that helps put bread on the table for people. And he really was not flashy. Like, he drove like a really old beat up truck.
Look at him. He's only got one nipple.
Yeah.
How
Well, that's
flashy
also-
can you be?
That's just how it is for a lot of, like, for example, communities of color who were ravaged by, like, I don't know, crack cocaine. You know, it's just what
Redlining.
it's just what a
White
lot of people
supremacy.
did. It's what a lot of their families did. It's just
Yeah.
how people operated in order to make a living.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been watching The Wire.
Yeah. yes. If
So
you couldn't
I know
tell.
all about it. Where the
Well, they
fuck
talk-
is Wallace?
They talk a lot about where is Wallace. Well, we know where Wallace is now, but
Oh.
So in
Wallace.
2018, Boone was sentenced to 57 months in prison, despite the fact that a few years prior, Obama had commuted the sentences of 22 nonviolent drug offenders, including 3 Kentucky men who were part of the Cornbread Mafia. But he had been on the run for like 8 years, so they got him on other shit. In 2020, Boone was released to a halfway house in Louisville due to concerns that his age and health put him at an elevated risk of complications from COVID-19. So he's out. Since Congress passed the 2018 Farm Bill, growing hemp with less than 0.3% THC has been re-legalized at the federal level. So you can grow
Okay.
hemp, once again allowing farmers to grow it. And, quote, allowing Kentucky to regain its title as the home of the finest hemp on earth.
Yes.
wow.
The same farm bill also significantly eased restrictions on the production of CBD products, which we have promoted on this show, paving the way for some former Cornbread Mafia members to launch a successful and legal CBD business in Kentucky.
My, how the
Fantastic.
times have changed.
That's great.
Good
And
for
the-
them.
I know my case was long, but I have like one other story to like two other stories to like tell
Oh
you
my
about.
God. Okay.
We're not going to get to my drunk time.
It's fine. It's funny. Okay. So the FBI or maybe the DEA at one point were trying to get undercover agents to like infiltrate Marion County, but they couldn't because it was such like a close-knit, tight community. So like any newcomer, people were like, who the fuck are you? So they set up a fake bar. They literally started a bar called Tomfooleries.
Oh.
And everybody working in the bar and like the fake owners of the bar were these agents undercover.
Oh my God.
I love it.
And so like a few months went by, whatever, they were like getting some information and then somehow their cover got blown and they still to this day don't know how. And they had to like abort the operation and shut down overnight and just like lost all of the costs of setting up this entire bar.
Amazing.
And then also the like main hangout place was this place called Bickett's Pool Hall.
Bigot's Pool Hall.
Not Bigot, but Bickett.
Bicket. It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. Yeah, do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
So they had this pool hall that they all hung out at. At one point, like this motorcycle gang called the Mongols came to town in the 80s and they tried to like take it over because they were like this like big, bad, like gnarly motorcycle gang and they thought they could
they're like, we're Bickets too.
They thought they could do whatever they wanted. And so the guys like let them like strut their stuff and like act all cool, whatever, at the pool hall. And then like some of the Cornbread Mafia guys like snuck out and fucked up their like huge massive trailer that they had all their bikes stored in and like fucked up like every motorcycle in this trailer truck. They like they just like fucked up all their motorcycles.
Uh-oh.
And then the gang came back and they were like, what, like, you know, tens of thousands of dollars of damage. And then they came back to the pool hall and they're like, who saw it? Who fucking did this? Whatever. And everybody was like, I didn't see shit.
Well, we know they don't snitch.
God.
And then they never came back. It's amazing. Like, there are so many good stories.
I like
in
this
book.
community.
I got a lot of information from the book The Cornbread Mafia by James Higdon. It's really interesting if anybody wants to check it out.
Love
There's
it.
so many fun stories.
I love it.
I love it. Well done.
Nice job. Some of the most, I would say, successful gifts I've ever given in the past are like photos and memories that are presented in like a really cool and unique way. So if you are struggling to find the perfect gift for everyone on your list, or if you want to give something personal and meaningful and not something that will be like re-gifted next season.
Guilty.
Yeah, honey. Well, these are so unique, so personalized. Canvasprints.com, I gotta tell you. You can easily turn the photo memories on your phone into the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
I am so obsessed with their entire setup. Like, it is so intuitive. It's so easy to use. You just upload the photo that you want to feature on your product, pick your product, and like add to cart. It's 3 steps. It's so easy.
They have like blankets, puzzles.
Coasters, tote bags, mugs, like
Incredible.
ornaments.
Oh,
How cute would it be? Like, okay, picture this. This is your first and probably only Christmas as an engaged couple with your fiance. Maybe his name is William. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. And he's hard to shop for, and you're not really sure what to get him. Oh, I don't know. Commemorate your Christmas with a, oh my gosh, aren't you so glad that you proposed to me? Isn't this the best decision you ever made in your life? Photo ornament of the two of you.
it's
Get out of
perfect.
town. It's so perfect. I love it. And like, you know, It doesn't have to be that. It could be anything. I have some of the best photos of like me and Callie and just like me and family. Some of these great pictures that are just memories that are so important to me that I would love to put on, what would be better than cozying up with like a blanket of me and Callie as I just continue to breathe for the rest of my life.
Face.
Yes, just a pillow with my dad's face on it. That's weird, but why not? And they have the most outstanding customer service. You get a 100% money back guarantee, so you know that these items are going to be delivered just looking gorgeous and perfect. They have quick shipping, which is great for the holiday season. Most orders ship within 3 to 5 business days. You're going to want to shop a little early just to ensure delivery before the holidays. So they have noted here that orders placed after December 13th might not be delivered by Christmas with standard shipping. So don't wait, y'all. So just get on it. Go look through some of the pictures on your phone. Think about one of those special memories that you might want to upload, and then go play around with it. See what you look like on a t-shirt. See what you look like on a hoodie, or like those cool foam photo tiles that you can put up, the triptychs. They're so cool.
A glass cutting board.
Get out of here. How much would your mother love that? She would love that.
I'd love it.
I'm going to get your mom a glass cutting board with my face on it.
She'll love it.
She'll use it.
So right now, canvasprints.com has a special offer just for our listeners. Go to canvasprints.com and use code GALS25, GALS25, to get 25% off your entire order of canvas prints, canvas wall displays, metal prints, photo tiles, photo blankets and pillows, and much, much more. Find the perfect holiday gift for everyone on your list and save with this amazing offer. One more time, that's canvasprints.com and use code GALS25 for 25% off your entire order and treat your holidays.
Treat 'em.
Santa baby, I only have one wish this year. And
what?
all I want this holiday season is for my partner to have smooth jingle balls.
Oh!
Like the smooth, Makes it a little more inviting, if you know what I mean.
I love a smooth ball.
Yeah. Silky smooth. Thankfully, Manscaped answer my call with the Performance Package 4.0, so I don't have to find Santa's beard in my man's pants again.
Oh my God.
It's for some. It's not for all.
It's not for all.
And I know from personal, I like it a little bit, when I clean up the basement a little, you know what I mean?
You're getting less hair in your teeth.
It's easier to jog if jogging is your thing.
Right.
So this holiday season, maybe think about getting your partner products that will actually get them smooth and clean and comfortable. Their all-new Body Buffer does just that. It is time to give the partner in your life the gift of beautiful skin and maybe just some clean, fresh nethers this holiday season.
I love clean, fresh nethers.
Yeah.
I love it.
Tell us
and
more.
yeah, I like having options. I like the act of self-care to if you want to get things spicy down there, maybe try a different little hairstyle.
Just feels good, fresh and clean.
Exactly. And there's this amazing thing called the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 that kind of is the self-care all-in-one package for the hairy person in your life. Inside the Performance Package 4.0, you will find the signature lawnmower that can stand up to even my bush, which is unruly and dissenting, as we've all heard. This is an electric trimmer that has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. Okay, when we are
Very
trimming...
important.
Yes, when we are trimming in sensitive areas, I don't shave at all ever anymore. So I only trim. I trim my legs, I trim my beeve, I trim my armpits to have that skin safe technology. These are sensitive areas that I'm trimming, people, okay?
It keeps your skin, I feel, it keeps your skin better. It also just kind of keeps your hair less prickly.
Yes. Yes, it does. It's like everything is softer. And this is also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower.
Oh, just send all that down the drain.
Send it all down the drain. Say goodbye. And the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. Y'all, this is an anti-chafing ball deodorant, moisturizer, and toner.
The balls are going to be looking good this year.
I mean, talk about self-care for your balls, like, and really, like, labia, kind of any sensitive area.
Yeah.
The anti-chafing, mama like, mama need. And to be able to, like, moisturize and tone in sensitive areas that you might be trimming, so that I can sometimes get, like, razor bumps and things that are, irritating. This is like, it's going to keep you feeling and smelling fresh. I'm obsessed. Their hygiene bundle also comes with a pair of Manscaped anti-chafing boxers. Where are mine? I want these.
Oh, yeah.
That will keep the junk feeling fresh all day. This is the perfect package for your perfect someone's perfect package. Hi. And Manscaped is going beyond the groin with their new ultra premium body wash. It's infused with aloe vera and sea salt to help keep the skin feeling clean, feeling nice, feeling moisturized. It smells so freaking good. I guarantee that, like, everyone in the household is going to be fighting over it. I definitely use it. And this is, Lucy mentioned this, but, like, I am obsessed with a good body scrub. So that new body buffer.
Yes.
This is a 100% antibacterial body scrubber that is just what you need to keep you or your partner or both clean and fresh. Like, buff off the dead skin. You're going to feel like a baby's butt. It's going to be amazing. So, 'tis the season to load up on Manscaped products that will actually have you wanting to rock around the Christmas tree, if you know what I'm saying. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GALS20, GALS20 at manscaped.com. And, every person should have Manscaped on their wish list. So just get them products they'll actually use this holiday season.
Yeah, get 20% off and free shipping with the code GALS20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use that code GALS20. Naughty or nice, Manscaped is the #1 gift on Santa's list. And treat you downstairs.
Traitor! I'm not even going to ask if you're ready for my case, because spoiler alert,
The
you're not.
answer is no.
You're deaf not.
Fanfic cases are always the darkest.
They really are.
What's wrong with you people?
Well, Annie/Ani included a little note, which I will preface by saying that this case is not specific to a daycare incident, but is a CPS situation. So she wrote, quote, "This case has become a motivator for me. I spent 2 years teaching in New Mexico. The last 2 months I was teaching at a preschool in Portales, New Mexico, which is not, in parentheses, the preschool that left 2 children in a hot car, but clearly this is a widespread issue.
Oh my God.
The preschool I worked for was spanking children, which should have been it for me, but I stayed another month and recorded evidence of teachers and the preschool owner abusing children," which, like, I respect
think
that.
that's the
Like,
right
gather
call.
evidence. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're staying to gather and
Right.
use evidence, that's
To
different
shut that
than
shit down.
Staying.
2 other teachers and I resigned when we witnessed the child of another teacher was punched in the face by a separate teacher as punishment.
Jesus.
I spent 3 months contacting media outlets, CPS, CYFD, which we'll get to, and any other group I could find. If by some miracle someone answered at CPS or CYFD, the case was taken seriously until I mentioned that it occurred at a preschool, and then I would be quickly told that someone would send me a letter within 6 weeks, which I never got.
What the hell?
And there's a lot in here about CYFD and the system. This case is fucking tragic. She continues to say, "Unfortunately, because of the high poverty rate in New Mexico, little attention is given to preschools, daycares, etc. Most available resources have to be diverted elsewhere. I have not returned to teaching, and I don't think I could. The nightmares I get and the guilt I feel for not being able to help children put in these daycares will never go away. And one last thing, I want to beg any parent that has a child," and you say in daycare, but like really anywhere, any parent with a child, to be aware of a few things. 1, you can and should drop by unexpectedly at daycare. Always check that your child's daycare is following teacher to student ratios strictly, which is, I mean, obviously so under-resourced Ooh, this is becoming a growing issue.
Yeah, don't
And-
just believe what they tell you
And always ask to see proof of certification.
from all
So-
teachers.
Yep, from all teachers. So, yeah, these questions will weed out a possibly dangerous environment, and all of this information should be very easy to obtain. So that's what
Yeah.
Annie wanted to just give a little insight on why they connect with this case. And it's
All right. I guess
yeah.
I'll allow a super dark case since you have a super dark backstory to go with it.
It's a fucking really sad case. And I rarely do this, but I just want to give a big, huge trigger warning because we are going to be discussing sexual abuse and death of a child. And it's really fucking horrific. So,
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Before you get into it, I just want to thank Annie again for trying to do what they could to protect those kids. And, you know, you something might have come of it that you're not aware of. You might have contributed to a broader investigation. You don't know. Like, just have hope that your efforts
made an impact.
made an impact in the end or will eventually.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Victoria Martins was only 10 years old when she was found dead in an apartment in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Her remains were discovered by police who had responded to a call that neighbors made regarding a domestic dispute in the apartment. So it's like loud fighting, neighbors call the police.
Yeah.
Victoria was living with her mother, Michelle, and she also had a half-brother who lived part-time with his father, so he was not home on the night of her death, thank God. And he was 2 years younger than her, so he was 8 at the time. Victoria's parents were not together, and her father's name is not public. He's not involved in this case whatsoever. So this
Okay.
is the only time you're going to hear about her dad and her
He
brother.
definitely was not home,
Nope.
not involved.
And the brother, her half-brother, was with him. I think they lived in like another state even.
Okay.
Michelle was working at a local deli to support her children. She did not have a criminal history in New Mexico, and by most accounts was a hardworking and loving parent. She was actively dating men who she'd connect with online, and in 2016, she actually made a call to Children, Youth, and Families Department in New Mexico. So this is like this is the CYFD, it's like their local CPS. To report that her boyfriend at the time, David Hernandez, had tried to kiss 10-year-old Victoria. Michelle broke off the relationship, and it's unclear how much she knew about David's history, but he had a criminal record for sexual abuse of minors, including several of his own family.
Oh, God.
Well, it's good that she
Did try.
believed her daughter, broke it off with him.
I mean,
and-
she may have
and
even
called
seen
the
it happen.
authorities.
Yeah. He was not a registered sex offender, however, because the charges had been dropped after his arrest, so they never went to court.
Shit. So it's not like she could have like
Looked him
up
up.
his status. He wasn't he wasn't registered.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The report was received by CYFD, who advised her to also file a report with the local police, who in turn did not investigate because they said they couldn't take action, quote, over an attempted kiss.
Fuck those cops. Fuck them.
Oh, there's more. And he'd already been kicked out of the apartment and sent on his merry way. There would be 4 more calls to CYFD in the coming months, though the details of those calls are unclear and there isn't a solid report because the calls were never investigated by the department or the police.
My God.
Enter
if there's
Michelle's-
an attempt on a child, like sexually. God.
By someone with a history of it.
Well, and that's like, this isn't even the guy. That's like a big problem in the end. That's just
Oh my God.
part of
Well, that's
the history.
that's almost the bigger issue too. It's like if there's a pattern.
Well, and it escalates real fast. So
God.
enter Michelle's new boyfriend, 31-year-old Fabian Gonzalez, who she started dating in July of 2016. So closely after she and the other guy broke up. Fabian was actively using methamphetamines and had a criminal record in the state of New Mexico, which included assault of a previous girlfriend and a felony child abuse charge. It appears that several charges happened in the same time frame, and Fabian took a plea deal that allowed his release and 2 years of supervised probation, so no prison time.
Meth probably violates your probation, but yeah, go off, Fabian.
Right. During their relationship, Fabian would use the apartment during the day. I mean, his probation may have ended by the time their relationship started. I'm not sure. This is just part of his criminal history. But during their relationship, Fabian would use the apartment during the day when he could be alone there to use drugs. So like when the kids were at school and when Michelle was at work. And he would also invite friends over to use. Among those invited to the apartment was Fabian's cousin, 31-year-old Jessica Kelly. Jessica had been in prison until August of 2016, one of several stints on drug-related convictions, as well as a conspiracy to commit rape conviction. While hanging out, not a great crowd.
No.
While hanging out in Michelle's apartment, Fabian invited her to move in with them for $50 a month in rent, which Michelle had not agreed to and was not there when he offered that to Jessica.
This is very cheap rent.
Also, they've been dating for a month.
Yeah, exactly. So on August 23rd, 2016, it was Victoria's 10th birthday. That day, she spoke on the phone with her grandparents, John and Pat Martins. She discussed her day at school and how her classmates had brought in treats to celebrate her birthday. It was early the morning after that police responded to the domestic disturbance call at the apartment and found Victoria dead.
God.
Michelle, Fabian, and Jessica were in the apartment when police arrived, and Victoria was in the apartment. We'll get to this part. Michelle had a bleeding wound on her face between her eyes, and when police demanded that the adults exit the apartment, they did, but Jessica refused and instead slammed and locked the door and jumped off the balcony out the back. She survived this fall with nothing more than a fractured ankle. I think it was like a third-story apartment. Like, it's not going to kill you. It's just stupid.
So the mom was in the apartment. The
Yes.
police come. They get her out.
And Fabian.
out. And Michelle is bleeding like she's been attacked.
Yes. She has a big gash between her eyes. And then
her
Jessica
daughter's
slams the door.
dead.
Her daughter is in another room. We'll get to it. So she jumps. She survives. They apprehend her. And now all three adults are in police custody, and the apartment is, empty of suspects at this point. So this is when they search the apartment. Mm-hmm. And what they found was fucking horrific. This is some of the most awful shit I have ever fucking read. So I'm just going to try to get through these details quickly and efficiently, the best I can. Mm-hmm. So
Blanket trigger warning.
Yeah, big time.
God.
So they found Victoria in the bathroom because there was smoke coming from the cracks of the closed bathroom door. In the bathroom, Victoria was in the empty tub, partially wrapped in a blanket, dismembered and set on fire. At the police station, Michelle, Fabian, and Jessica were being questioned. Michelle claimed that Victoria had been injected with methamphetamine to subdue her so that Fabian and Jessica could sexually assault her.
Fucking Jessica as well. I mean, Fabian and Jessica both, but Jessica, this is a fucking pattern for her as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can we just back up? Jessica is
Fabian's cousin.
And she has a past history of drug stuff and conspiracy to commit rape.
Mm-hmm.
And Fabian is
Michelle's boyfriend.
Jesus Christ.
So Michelle claimed that she watched while Jessica and Fabian raped, strangled, stabbed, and dismembered Victoria. She also claimed that she had previously sought out men on the internet to come to her home and have sex with Victoria so she could watch. So essentially
The mom
trafficking.
said
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay, well, fuck everything I said at the top. Fuck this mom.
We'll get to it. This case is so much, there's so much fucking failure of the system in this case that it will have you completely screaming.
Okay.
In another room, being interrogated, Fabian denied harming Victoria throughout 9 hours of interrogation, and Jessica refused to speak with investigators at all without the presence of an attorney. The story Michelle provided appeared to match the scene, and Michelle, Fabian, and Jessica were indicted on September 8th, 2016 for intentional abuse of a child, aggravated criminal sexual penetration, murder, and tampering with evidence. The three suspects were tried separately, with Michelle's trial first, supposed to start in July of 2018. But before the trial, newly elected District Attorney Raul Torres announced that Michelle had accepted a plea bargain to one count of child abuse resulting in death. He said that many details of this case were, quote, simply not true, and that there was even a fourth suspect in this murder being actively sought out. Okay. So ends that appeared to be tied up started to unravel as more forensic and autopsy evidence became available in the years following this crime that would indicate Michelle and Fabian were not even present in the apartment at the time of Victoria's murder.
Jeez.
So here's the timeline presented by Torres after almost 2 years of collecting and analyzing DNA evidence, reviewing cell phone records, collecting eyewitness testimony, reviewing and having like second, third, fourth opinions on autopsy results. Like so much was fucking botched.
Yeah.
That it basically all had to be re-examined from fucking scratch. So
Jeez.
this is like the timeline on the day of Victoria's birthday. So August 23rd, 4:25 p.m., Victoria Martins gets off the bus and goes home. Michelle and Fabian are not present at this time.
She just turned 10. She
She's
gets
10.
off the bus. She's going home.
Single
Normal.
working mom.
Yeah.
Kids are 10 and 8. Brother's not there. She's going to go home, hang out, probably watch cartoons. Like that's, whatever. In the 90s, we would have done the same shit.
Yeah.
5:07 p.m., Michelle and Fabian return to the apartment. 6:05 p.m., Victoria, the child, goes to the gas station with Fabian. 6:15 to 6:20, Victoria and Fabian return to the apartment. 6:30 p.m., Michelle and Fabian leave and go to Paradise Hills. This is like a neighboring town. 7:02 p.m., Michelle and Fabian return to the apartment. 7:05 p.m., Victoria is seen alive by neighbors. 7:06 p.m., Michelle and Fabian leave again. This is seen by witnesses. 7:38 p.m., Michelle and Fabian are near Rio Bravo Boulevard and Coors Boulevard. Again, it's corroborated that they're there.
Okay.
7:59 p.m., Michelle and Fabian are seen near 5 Points and Bridge Boulevard. 8:47 p.m., Michelle and Fabian arrive back at the apartment. 8:48 p.m., eyewitnesses say Victoria's body is seen being carried outside the apartment.
Carried outside, but then brought back inside?
Correct.
Okay.
And the forensic evidence indicates that Victoria's time of death is between like 7:30 and 8 p.m. when, like in that general time frame, when Michelle and Fabian are not even home.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty easy to ascertain given this timeline, but like...
So as it stands now, it's likely Michelle falsely confessed to Victoria's murder, and DNA actually implicates this fourth unnamed and so far unknown suspect as the perpetrator. So here's what we do know based on new evidence or like actual processing of the evidence.
So why did they think that it wasn't just Jessica?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
I'm going to go over all of that right now.
Okay.
So Victoria's cause of death was manual strangulation. Victoria's autopsy did not show any presence of methamphetamine, contrary to Michelle's original story.
Okay.
A low level of ethanol was discovered, but this was later attributed to the body's process of, like, natural process of decay, which can result in the presence of ethanol. It's not enough. It wasn't enough.
She
for
wasn't
her to
injected
have been, like,
with anything.
Correct. Or like fed it. Yeah, no. While it was initially believed that Victoria had been sexually assaulted on that night, further review and re-examination indicated she was likely not sexually assaulted during the timeline in question. But she did have an STI indicating previous sexual abuse.
Okay.
Which could have been as a result of either this Fabian guy or the fucking previous boyfriend.
Or David or somebody else.
We don't know.
Okay.
In reviewing communications between Michelle and CYFD, the like Child Protective Services basically, it appears Michelle did report a sexual assault that was committed against Victoria that occurred about a month before Victoria's murder. DA Torres stated, quote, she took immediate steps to identify and notify the relevant law enforcement officials, and as far as we know, severed contact with that person. So that's likely in relation to this David guy.
Right.
But the report was not properly investigated. Michelle also claimed in her confession that she had trafficked her for sex via online dating sites, but there was no evidence to support this. And as we know, even if you delete things from the web, there's always a trail.
Yeah, and it's not like Michelle is like a cyber hacker who could like, you know.
She has a lot of issues. She is a methamphetamine user. She is
with terrible taste
in men. She's keeping very dangerous company. But she's also vulnerable, and that was very fucking clear when she was apprehended.
And she's probably not out there trying to, like, stymie the investigation.
No.
Like, some sort of, like, techie.
No,
I mean, there are parents and other guardians who do traffic their children online.
Course.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is nothing to indicate that that is the case here, and we're going to get to what what went down. So Fabian Gonzalez's DNA was also not found on Victoria's body, but DNA from the unnamed fourth suspect was present. So DA Torres, with the support of psychological analysts, believes Michelle's confession was coerced by police who fed her information while she was in a state of shock and on drugs that she simply nodded or agreed with by saying, mm-hmm.
Okay.
They haven't, like, I
Okay.
didn't see a direct transcript or, like, the tapes of this confession, but it's like a fucking making a murderer situation.
Yeah, if somebody is high or in shock or both,
And their child was they just found the remains of their child
and they're bleeding from the face,
No.
and then all they're doing is saying mm-hmm or
So the
responding
it was the
positively.
police
That's very
being like,
different than
yes.
this is what happened.
Yeah.
First, they, like, it's not like she's telling
Her
a
confession
tale.
is like, oh, were you trafficking your child by meeting these guys online?
yeah,
And she's like, like,
yeah.
this was not a fucking real confession.
No.
Okay.
It was not.
A
right.
2017 investigation by the Civilian Police Oversight Agency did find that a police spokesperson representing this case lied to reporters about their response or lack thereof to a CYFD report or referral regarding Victoria. A sergeant with the department also confirmed that the department had received calls about Victoria from CYFD and did not investigate, and officers had lied to the press previously about interviewing Michelle and Victoria.
It's
So,
also
like,
pretty
of course they're-
unlikely that a parent who is trafficking their child is
It's
going
gonna fucking call CPS
gonna-
over and over
Right?
again.
right.
And if the police are now like, oh shit, we have a dead kid and 4 calls to CYFD that were referred to us that we never fucking investigated,
Yeah.
you don't think they're going to try to put this all on
Yeah.
these fucking definitely not, angelic people. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that there's no wrongdoing here. There's a lot of failures in every fucking aspect. There's
Right.
also responsibility on Michelle.
But it's
I'm
very
not
easy
absolving
to
her.
shift.
But she is such a fucking easy target here. They're
Yeah.
feeding her this shit, and she is just going with it. They
Yeah,
never even
that's
conducted
sad.
an interview with Michelle and Victoria. They never even made a fucking phone call, the police. Not a one time.
Mm-hmm.
So the proposed
sad.
consequence for the main spokesperson, the cop who was the police spokesperson who knowingly gave false information to the police, was a 2-week suspension, of which he served 1 day paid.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So one paid day
cool,
off.
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was paid.
But, for optics, he was also removed from the position of being a police spokesperson.
Oh, for
For
optics.
that case.
Got
So,
it. Cool.
with
Got
all
it.
of this new information, that's why Michelle agreed to take the plea bargain. Because now she's also been in custody, so she's probably got a clearer mind. She's, been in jail. She's not fucking doing meth every day. And all of this shit is being re-examined. And the DA is like, none of this is making sense when you actually look at the legitimate fucking physical evidence. What the fuck is going on? And all of this eyewitness testimony, this is not right. So I want to give big props to DA Torres for actually doing his fucking job.
Actually investigating and not just being like, I don't know, this is a mess. Lockup.
Because nothing less is anything fucking resembling justice for Victoria.
Right.
So fuck 12.
And also these poor, the poor grandparents, the
Yes.
poor, the other people in her life that loved her
It's so
have to
fucking
hear
sad.
not even just all the horrific things that did happen to this innocent child,
Yeah.
but also
She's still a baby.
extra horrific made up things.
About their daughter, the mother of their
Yeah.
grandchild. That aren't fucking true.
Yeah.
Your kid's not perfect. She is a mess, but she didn't fucking traffic her baby.
Yeah.
I mean, she did not properly protect her child from these dangerous men that were coming in and out of her home. I
Right.
can't absolve her of that, but she
Right.
didn't fucking traffic her kid.
Right.
Meth is a hell of a drug. Substance
Yeah.
use disorder is fucking deadly in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's just, I get so fucking upset.
It wrecks lives. It wrecks
Yeah.
families. It wrecks
It kills
generations.
people. Innocent people. It's just the fucking worst. So,
Fucks up kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
so Michelle does face 12 to 15 years in prison for the child abuse charge that she took the plea deal for, but her sentencing will also be contingent on the other trials in this case. So in January of 2019, Jessica Kelly also accepted a plea deal that was presented based on this newly developed evidence. As part of that deal, rape charges against Jessica were dropped, and she pled no contest to 6 charges, including child abuse resulting in death, great bodily harm, aggravated assault, tampering with evidence, and conspiracy to commit tampering with evidence. Jessica is the individual believed to have been seen by witnesses carrying Victoria's body back into the apartment wrapped in a blanket before she was dismembered and lit on fire.
Ugh.
So this was a clear attempt to destroy evidence.
Who is this 4th person?
We don't know yet, but I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
So Jessica faces 50 years in prison, and this plea deal also requires her to testify against her cousin Fabian, who also awaits a trial, because Fabian didn't take a plea deal. He wants to go to trial, and based on the new evidence, the rape and murder...
It's like dominoes. Like everything is like waiting on the results, the finding in Fabian's trial to affect Jessica, to affect Michelle.
And they were starting to go to these trials in the year of our end, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And
the year of our reptilian demon, 2020.
Seriously. So because of all the fucking COVID and shit, this Fabian's trial has not happened.
Jeez.
We're still fucking waiting. Yeah. It was supposed to happen like last summer or some shit. And now they just keep kicking that fucking can down the road.
Yeah.
So based on the new evidence, the rape
still in prison? Has he been in prison since then?
We will get to it. Will get to it. Based on the new evidence, the rape and murder charges against him were dropped because there is not physical evidence that says he sexually assaulted Victoria or necessarily murdered her, because now that evidence is pointing toward this 4th suspect with him as an accomplice to it.
Right.
So instead, he's charged with reckless child abuse resulting in death and 8 counts of tampering with evidence. He is awaiting trial under house arrest.
House arrest?
He's home.
For this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there has been a lot of buzz recently about this trial because the judge presiding over this case has agreed to allow photographs of Victoria's remains to be presented in the court, which, like, the photos from a legal standpoint are relevant to the evidence tampering charges because he's believed to have dismembered her.
Yeah, the jury needs to see that. It directly impacts.
Yeah. But I can't even.
Yeah, but if he hasn't been brought to trial, that means there is no jury selected yet.
There is. Like, that process is done. It's just the trial has been delayed because of COVID.
Oh my fucking God.
Like, the trial was supposed to start in, like, I think summer of 2021, and then most recently it was like, well, we'll see about February of 2022, and it still hasn't happened.
That's actually really fucked up. I mean, from like a defense standpoint, to let the jury sit with all of these photographs, all this evidence.
They haven't seen it
seen
yet.
Anything
The trial has not begun. They have jury selection. The jury is not provided with any information until the trial.
Got it.
It's just been decided that they will allow the judge will allow the prosecution to present the photographs in court.
I mean,
no
I
one's
think that's
seen them
fair.
yet. I think so too.
I think it's horrific. I think they belong in a courtroom and nowhere else.
It's so fun. I mean, if those photos are out anywhere, I have not seen them. I did not look for them.
No.
God fucking absolutely not.
No.
So what about the 4th suspect who is still to this day being referred to as John Doe? Jessica Kelly likely knows who this man is and is almost certainly using this information as part of her defense, but the DNA belonging to John Doe, which was found on Victoria's back, likely came from skin, sweat, or saliva cells and therefore cannot be compared to samples in the Federal Combined DNA Index System due to a lack of cells allowing a full DNA profile.
Because they also had set her on fire, so a lot of the epithelial DNA
is
fucked.
gone.
Yeah.
Yep. So this means that swabs need to be collected from each person of interest in order to identify a suspect. And without a warrant to do so, based on enough evidence to point to specific individuals, that isn't just Jessica pointing a finger at somebody because she also wants to fucking save her own ass.
Yeah.
It can't be a random person.
No, we don't have that swab, and the investigators don't have enough
to test against a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
You can't just start fucking calling people in and going, "All right, give me your mouth." Like,
and you can't just put them in the database.
Well, they tried. They don't have enough DNA.
There is no database for everybody's all different types of DNA.
Exactly. So even if they wanted to fucking put the DNA that they do have,
they also probably have one shot at it.
Yep.
And you got to take Jessica's fucking word for it, convicted
Which, like, she'd be a fucking idiot
Monster.
not to tell the truth if she's trying to leverage this information.
She could also have scores that she wants to settle. She
Totally.
could be,
Yeah,
she could
but
be afraid of the
she could
actual
have a
person.
bunch of different like
Absolutely.
motivations
Yeah.
of like
All
who
of these
to point the
reasons-
finger to.
And, like, these swabs are sure as shit not being offered up willingly by the public. Like, who's gonna
Right.
fucking come forward and be, unless it's like,
It's
I
as
absolutely
bad
didn't
as
do
like
it.
a jailhouse informant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're just stuck in this, like, limbo of there was a fourth person involved in this that likely did kill, like, assault and kill this child. And then fucking Fabian and Jessica,
Covered
for
it up.
whatever reason,
Or attempted to.
Yeah, tried to cover it up and did a fucking terrible ass job. And now we just don't know. We still don't fucking know exactly what happened.
Just 10.
And yeah, and the onus of
Day after
responsibility.
her birthday.
Yeah, that, like, literally on the night of her birthday. And the onus of responsibility here is fucking vast. Like, we know this. And the grandparents, John and Pat Martins, certainly feel that way. They are disgusted with the justice system, and I cannot fucking blame them for that. In 2017, they filed a lawsuit against the city of Albuquerque for not properly investigating the multiple claims to CYFD regarding Victoria. The lawsuit was dismissed, however, in 2021, but this dismissal was based on the evidence known in the case as of 2018. And a lot has changed since then. So it's likely they will appeal the dismissal and include the, like, updated evidence in the appeal, the, like, statements from police that confess that they didn't look into this shit properly.
So just to clarify, all of the calls to CYFD about Victoria that were never followed up on by police or anyone were made by Michelle.
Correct.
So it's not like somebody,
Or the
it's not like a
grandparents?
teacher
No,
or something.
it was Michelle.
Like, so Michelle, okay. And those calls all happened before or
Yeah, in
spanning
pretty-
the time that she met Fabian?
Spanning, I think that I'm not super clear about, but from what I could gather, it appears that the calls came in throughout roughly the same time period. So they could have all been connected to David or whatever his name
Right.
was. I as far as I know, there were not necessarily calls directly
About Fabian.
connected to Fabian's behavior.
So, I mean,
And
it's
you'd think that they weren't
possible-
fucking about Fabian.
It's possible that if they had followed up, it would have just been to investigate David and it wouldn't have saved Victoria's life. But it's also very possible, if not probable, that
It would have revealed the issues at home, issues
Yes.
with Michelle's drug use, because she
Right.
was actively using methamphetamines throughout her relationship with David.
Could have been an
Exactly.
intervention.
and she could have accidentally kind of outed herself
Yup.
and we could have gotten Victoria out of that
They could have
situation.
fucking interviewed Victoria.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, that's what's so fucking infuriating. Like, yeah, maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but now we'll never get to fucking know.
Right.
We'll never fucking know, and that poor kid is dead for no fucking reason.
God. Oh my God.
So that's my case.
Thanks, Annie Blackwell.
And why I needed to
Annie
ask for another
Blackwell.
hour like 100 times today because I took any opportunity to not write this. I welcomed every call, every need.
Yeah, Amanda was
today.
like, my sister called. I really got to take this.
I really have to take this. I'm going to need another half hour. And she did call. And I did tell her that I threw her under the bus so I could avoid writing these notes. And then she said, I'm getting off the phone. You have to do your job. So
yeah, Ashley's a tough bitch.
she is a tough bitch, holding me fucking accountable. I hate it. I hate
Ashley,
it.
I saw your LinkedIn friend request and I am going to accept it as soon as I remember my LinkedIn password.
I
Right?
don't.
I haven't
Don't.
logged on to LinkedIn in 7 years.
Oh, at least a decade. I get so many emails that are like, so-and-so posted to LinkedIn. And it's always like an X.
I got 3 because I get the notifications to my email,
Yeah, same.
but I don't like log in to actually reply to them. But like 2 days after Putin invaded Ukraine, I got 3 different.
Putin posted to LinkedIn.
No, I got 3 different LinkedIn messages from different like random Russian people.
Bots.
Yeah,
Weird.
isn't that bizarre?
Well,
They can have my LinkedIn. It's super out of date.
Victoria.
I'm sorry. Don't know how we, whatever.
Who took a hard left.
I needed to take a hard left out of this story. I needed to
Palate
for my
cleanser.
health.
We really
so
did.
sorry.
R.I.P. Victoria. Jesus Christ. Who died in your case? Girly. God damn
Fucking
it.
Girly.
Girly
I
and
know.
Victoria. Thank you, kind of, to Annie Blackburn.
Yeah, thanks, Annie. I gotta go.
Well, how fucking fun was that?
So sad.
I know.
I had distanced myself from how sad my case was.
Yeah. I've been trying unsuccessfully.
Oh.
But we do have just a couple of last thoughts. So, in regards to the 18-year-old case of a missing Northport man in Maine, Jeremy Alex, he was last seen on April 30th, 2004. And just a reminder, if you have any information related to Jeremy's disappearance, to call Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit at 207-624-7143. Again, this is Jeremy Alex. Been missing for quite a while, and somebody knows something. So
Yes. Yes.
Hoping this reaches the right ears.
I really hope so too. I have an equally not fun update on the Victoria Martins case. And that is that the case is being closed in New Mexico, but not because they caught anyone. They don't have enough information, I guess, to keep seeking out a suspect.
Too sad.
It's so tragic. So basically, the case, there's no statute of limitations in New Mexico on murder. So just because they are closing the case does not mean that it will never be solved. Unfortunately, we know what this means about it, staying as a priority or funding going to solving this case. So what we really, really, really need for this case to get some new life breathed into it is for investigators to get a DNA hit from any of the evidence, or most importantly, and this is where the general public can really be helpful, we need a new witness to come forward with reliable information. Like Lucy said, someone knows something.
Yep.
And this little girl will not be getting any justice if her murderer is just walking free.
Yep.
So if you know something, just contact the authorities in New Mexico, because we need this case to be solved.
Yeah. Help their friends and family sleep a little better at night, because these cases were horrific and really sad.
So sad. So sad. So I wish we had some better updates for you. But
sorry.
I mean, there were some folks convicted, as we saw in the Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer attempted kidnapping. So that's good. It was fun to see those January 6th fucking turds get some jail time. That was cool.
Couple of domestic terrorists. Where they belong.
Sorry.
God.
But I just really would like to see more of that whole accountability and responsibility thing.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, the people who committed these other horrific crimes. Anyway,
well,
so much fun.
Special thanks to anyone and everyone who suggested a different state for us to cover. They are fucking wild. Honestly, the state topics are really fun, I think.
They're so fun. Some of my faves.
Yeah. So shout out to all of you. Thank you for your suggestions, and thank you for listening. And we hope you have some very happy holidays.
We love you.
Love you. See you later.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip, music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell, editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers.